You're up and it's still dark. Kick back with a cup of joe. You know you've got friends waiting on 1620 The Zone. It's Happer and Schaefer. It's Connor and Mike. Listen on the radio stream or YouTube or podcasts. Anytime it feels right. It's Happer and Schaefer. Happer and Schaefer.
All right, good morning and welcome in. Happy Friday. It's Happer and Schaefer on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Mike Schaefer, Joey Colbert with you this morning on, they call it Super Bowl Friday. Is it? I don't think anybody actually says that.
I mean, you
I've never
could be
heard
the
of it.
first. You could originate it.
Super Bowl Friday.
There we go.
Sorry, patent pending.
Now,
Don't sue me, Roger Goodell.
When you go to break, you have to always say, we'll be back here on a Super Bowl Friday.
Super Bowl Friday.
On Happer and Schaefer.
People always, we love on radio saying what day of the week it is.
The time. We haven't done a good job with the time. We're not a time show. I think we can
It's
just
6:02. There you go.
We haven't kept up very well.
I think we can declare that we are not going to be a good time.
I do like, it's kind of nice throwing it back in there at the start of segments.
I mean, if you want to work
Hey, it's
it in there.
8:55. You're listening to Super Bowl Friday at 1620 The Zone,
There
It's
we go.
11:02 p.m. over in Melbourne, Australia.
where they will play an NFL game
With MVP Matt Stafford.
with MVP Matt Stafford and the chronically injured by electrical substation San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, look at that.
So sad. So sad.
I think the Rams wanted to play the Niners in Australia just to avoid a Niners takeover at their own stadium, but it's not going to do anything regardless.
So
the 49ers fans are still going to travel to Melbourne.
Did they figure that we better send West Coast teams because it's like slightly less travel?
That's
It
what I
seems
was
like,
guessing.
You know, they looked at Kansas City and Green Bay and thought, you know what? We're going to save some time here. We'll save 2.5, 3 hours.
Yeah, on a 20-hour trip.
Yeah.
Great idea.
I have a suggestion for how to play this game on a week one. Just make a week 0 so you got plenty of time to acclimate back to West Coast time zone.
Joey's on the week 0 train.
Wow.
But it's probably not going to happen because I was suggesting a Monday night affair, but that would be on Labor Day, and college football is not going to be happy about it.
No.
Even though it's going to be Florida State and SMU, no one's going to really watch it.
But no, but the NFL doesn't care about college
It won't
football.
be as watchable as North Carolina TCU, which was a train wreck this past
horrific,
this past Labor Day.
but funny.
It
was funny, yeah.
It was a funny game.
I was locked in, or not really locked in. It's unfortunate for that game, especially that the day before you had the very excellent Miami versus Notre Dame game. Like
Right.
that, honestly, if you think about the college football season, like that was actually one of the better just games of the
It really
year.
was. Yeah.
And it happens on the Sunday night of Labor Day weekend. And so,
If you would have told people it's all downhill from here,
We're going to get a couple games on the Sunday night before Labor Day because I know there's going to be Wisconsin Notre Dame at Lambeau Field on
Okay.
NBC. I think they haven't announced the time for that, but I would assume that would be a prime time game in Lambeau.
interesting. And then yesterday in the NFL, we got the news that the Dallas Cowboys are
Go
the team,
Cowboys.
are the team of Brazil, which
Yeah.
is
Brazil.
amazing.
Rio de Janeiro.
Send them to Brazil. They're not America's team anymore.
They're Brazil's
Send
team.
them to Brazil.
I-
Incredible.
Look, I think the station needs to send Josh Peterson down there to
Cowboys
agree.
correspondent.
do some live shows and live reporting.
Just have them in there in the middle of things, eating up all the culture,
Let's get a one-on-one with him and Jerry Jones.
sucking it all in. I think that would be fantastic for us.
It really would.
We
It
should
really
run that
would.
up the.
I'm very thankful the Cowboys volunteered to play in Brazil because I remember the Packers playing that inaugural
Yeah, they had
game.
the
in Brazil.
Eagles in that one, and
Yeah,
it was a
the-
horrendous footing
Yeah,
situation.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
It was a horrendous footing situation for the first game over at Sao Paulo, and that Jordan Love got hurt at the very end of the game, avoided a serious injury, thankfully, but it affected him throughout the season.
That
But yeah,
is-
should be
it's like
interesting.
the Packers Akron game, kind of. You know, if it would have gone differently, then maybe that season would have gone differently. I'm not sure. All right, welcome to a Super Bowl Friday show. Jake Sorensen will join us at 9:15, and he is our lone guest today. We have
What a super guest.
he is a great super guest, and we have lots of topics.
Yeah, there's actually I was scrolling through and I was like, wow, we really outdid ourselves on a Friday.
I think we're gonna do we'll have Super Bowl like picks at the end of the show.
Mhm.
We each have some props that we want to throw at you. We have our City of the Day, the debut of City of the Day.
Yes.
Which we could probably make that like a Friday segment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was the idea.
Okay, let's just try and remember that.
Yes,
City of the Day.
we'll
is
do
a
that.
Friday.
Are we looking 6:45 for City of the Day?
6:45.
Beautiful.
All right.
City of the Day. Line it up. And today's city will be very topical as it pertains to the Super Bowl. We'll talk about the game in general, some questions, and the NFL honors. This is probably the NFL heaviest show that we may ever have, except for Monday, I suppose. And then it'll be over and done, and it will be baseball season. Baseball.
I'm excited for the baseball.
Yeah,
but
you love baseball. I can't believe you just shook your head to that.
It's just the idea that this is going to be the NFL heaviest show. I mean, we can do more.
Didn't you go outside yesterday and think, football is nearly over?
Yeah, I went outside yesterday and I was like, this is nice. I'm going to remember this when I'm sad in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically the entirety of it. But,
That's not how I looked at it.
well,
Like, I'll be happy in 2 weeks.
Luckily for
you're
me,
gonna
I
be
got my
happy in 2
Celtics.
weeks?
Yeah, the pitchers and catchers will have reported.
Yeah, but you'll be inside frigid and cold and snow and everything else.
Yeah, but there's light at the end of the tunnel now. They've given me hope.
We should
Hope is a dangerous thing.
give a reminder to ourselves for the crossover to see if Matt has updated his weeks of winter that he put together.
Oh yeah, when he was terribly off.
And he'd
Yeah.
be patting himself on the back for his fake spring take that's been made by everybody here.
Yeah, I think this is definitely. I mean, we're basically in fake spring.
Yeah.
Or one of the fake springs. But
There's multiple. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
we are not as close to the end of the line as it may seem, but we can dream.
Write
We
it down.
can
We're
dream.
write it down. We're gonna get a snowstorm in March.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's snowing in
mid March.
I'm worried about April.
Mid-March.
April, May.
Yeah.
Any of those months is probably gonna snow. All right, so that is the lineup today with young Jake, powered by the Rooferees. Nope, powered by nobody. Powered by Could Be You.
Powered by Could Be You.
We love it if you would power our lineups. Give us a call, send us a text 402-951-1620 on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. You can, like I said, call or text that number. Tweet at Happer and Schaefer, at Connor Happer, at Mike J. Schaefer, at Joe Warcola on Twitter. Send us a tweet that way. Email Connor, Mike, Joey, 1620zone.com on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. And we say good morning to the YouTube
Good
streamers.
morning.
Look at this. We have Baseball Matthew in the chat. He says, baseball. Watched Field of Dreams last night for the millionth time.
Okay.
Classic. Would you like to watch Field of Dreams for the millionth time?
I have seen it probably 2.5 times.
Are you going to say it's overrated?
No, I wasn't going to say that. I was going to prompt you with a baseball movie question, but I already think I know the answer.
All right.
So I'm not as interested in that. What is your second favorite baseball movie?
What is my first favorite baseball movie?
I'm assuming Moneyball.
I couldn't say that for sure.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that definitively.
I feel like there was a time where it was maybe Moneyball.
There might have been a time. I have certainly watched it a lot.
Yeah. And maybe that's just what I'm thinking is that you've just watched it.
I have watched it a lot. I watched it a lot, especially during COVID too. And then they played the A's game, the streak game, the 20 streak game, and it was against the Royals on like ESPN during that time, and I was pretty excited about that. That was a fun watch.
What's with the Royals and having been part of these long streaks?
What was the other one?
Cleveland in 2017.
Oh yeah. Well, they're on the bad side of history a lot. They're the Royals. They've been a historically poor franchise. But I had a fun year in 2015 and 14 for the record. Rookie of the year. I love Rookie of the year.
Okay.
I love the whimsical kids movies with baseball. I think that those.
I think we
those
talked
just
about this.
fit.
I don't remember if it was on this show or if it was some other discussion, but of those, I like Angels in the Outfield the
Yes,
most, which
you
is
have
an
said that
outlier
before.
compared to most people.
I'm sort of out, like not out on, but I am. My excitement is less there for movies that everyone seems to love, like Field of Dreams, Bull Durham. I'm kind of out on Bull Durham entirely.
It's fine.
Yeah,
it's totally
it's fine.
fine. I'm good with it. Obviously, I love the movie Major League for reasons that
Love Major
I don't
League.
love the movie, but also it involves my favorite baseball team. Did you ever see the movie Everybody Wants Some, which is like
No.
tangibly about baseball,
No.
but also about the first week of college? It's about this Texas this guy who's going to like a Texas school, and he's a baseball pitcher, and he's joining the baseball house.
Wow.
And
It's Glenn Powell.
yeah, no, it's the first role I ever saw Glenn Powell in. That movie, it's Richard Linklater, which might mean something to you or might not.
Yeah.
That movie is phenomenal.
Whoa. I've never even heard of this.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Like really, really good.
I love the idea of a baseball house.
Yeah,
that's
so
for sure.
it's everything. It will give you all of the feels of that first week of when you went to your junior college and you're meeting your teammates for the first time and you're determining which ones you don't like and which ones you like. And then that might flip within that same first week. And then
great. That's exactly what happened.
And then you're at practice
exactly
with these guys for the first time. And
you're like, these people are nuts.
You've got the teammates that are just like constantly talking about how good they are, and then you get to see whether they're good or not.
Right. Yeah.
You will. This is tailor-made for you. I obviously didn't have the college baseball experience, but it's tailor-made to anybody that, like that first week you went to college.
This is great. Yeah.
Particularly if you went to college and you weren't around a bunch of people that you knew.
I wasn't.
Which I went to South Dakota State, so I wasn't either.
Zoe Dutch is in there. Is
Yeah.
she like the main?
I don't know who that is.
That's her. You seen her before?
Fairly certain that's the main person.
Okay. That would make sense. She is the biggest like headliner in
Blake
the
Jenner,
movie.
I think, is the which I don't know that he's related to the
Blake Jenner. There you go.
Yeah, I don't know that he's related to the other Jenners. I think he just has the last name.
Doesn't seem like that. It feels like it would have been mentioned in his Wikipedia page. Okay, maybe I'll have to check out a new baseball movie.
That one's really good.
A text from the 515 says The Sandlot. Yeah, The Sandlot is a classic. I'm in on that. No problems with it.
I have a Sandlot take that people may or may not appreciate.
Here we go.
That movie's apex is very, very much when they are playing on the 4th of July.
No doubt, with the fireworks, yeah.
And then everything that comes after
sort of unnecessary.
Yeah, not good. Yeah. It's funny, like as a kid, you love the whole movie. And then maybe as an adult, when you watch it with nostalgia, you love the movie. And then you get to this point and you're like, I don't care about the dog stuff anymore.
No, I actually don't care about how like any of them end up. I don't care about
I do love at the end when it's just like Bertram got really into the 60s
and then they disappear, you know.
I did enjoy that at the end of it, but it's a lot, and so much of it is when they get to the scene of the 4th of July, it's honestly outstanding.
That's as good as it gets.
Really, really well done.
So yeah, I didn't really care about the dog, but I appreciated the reveal of James Earl Jones.
Sure. Yeah.
And like so they made it sort of worth your time
at
that point. But I don't know, to your point, if I really needed it.
Right. Yeah, there's like a weird shift in the movie that it could have been something else, but it's still very, very good. I don't mean to take anything away from that.
Sindelar is here this morning. Good morning, Alex. Are there more bad baseball movies or more bad football movies?
Okay. Bad baseball movies.
I think there's probably more bad baseball movies because I just think there's less football movies in general. There's more baseball movies than football movies. Are you willing to agree with that?
Yeah, there's definitely more baseball movies. Easier sport to sort of do a movie on because
that's just anecdotal.
The action scenes in football are hard to do.
Yeah.
So you know, like it's
definitely hard to do well.
It's harder to kind of put that together. Trying to think of like a bad baseball movie, like just out and out bad baseball movie example.
Trouble with the Curve. That's
and I
the
keep
worst
thinking
movie ever.
of The Scout with Steve Nebraska and Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, but that was supposed to be what it was.
Sure.
You know?
And then there's the movie with the monkey.
Oh yeah.
I want to call Ed.
Yeah, I believe.
Is it just Ed?
I think it is called Ed. It is Ed. Yes.
So there's that one.
Yeah, that's a funny one. Oh, I love. So I said I love Rookie of the Year. I love Little Big League. Great one. And I love Mr. 3000.
Oh, okay.
Mr. 3000 is a great movie too.
I love Bernie Mac, so you don't have to sell me.
But I also think that the worst, maybe one of the worst movies of all time is Trouble with the Curve. It's possibly one
100%.
of the worst
You and I
movies of
were
all
in
time.
lockstep on that.
So you can
You saw it in theaters?
I saw it in theaters. I walked out. It's the only movie I've ever
I got
walked
it.
out of.
Pretty sure I got it on Redbox after a Nebraska football game in 2011. And I was like, this is awful.
Now that is a horrible way to watch down a Nebraska football loss.
Yeah, it's either 2011 or 2012 because I remember the apartment that I was in when I got it. And I I would finish with football coverage, head home, and go find a Redbox and watch a movie until 3 a.m. because that's what you did when you're in your early 20s.
Sidlar says the Red Sox movie with Jimmy Fallon is
Never
bad.
saw it. I refuse to see it.
I have seen Fever Pitch way too many times.
Yeah, I refuse to watch it.
I don't think it's that. It's sort of lovable. It's sort of lovable in a way if you just ignore the Jimmy Fallon part.
Yeah, I can't. One, I can't ignore that at all. Two, I hate that this was occurring at the same time the Red Sox actually did win.
I know,
and so
it just fed into
that
it.
cheapens it in a way that I don't particularly care for. But yeah, I mean it's largely Jimmy Fallon. I have no desire to spend any time with Jimmy.
Did you ever like Jimmy Fallon? Did you like Jimmy Fallon before he became just a product of what they told him to be?
An insight to my personality is that Norm Macdonald is my favorite Weekend Update host of all time. And so then you have the exact opposite of him in Jimmy Fallon in almost every way, starting with funny for Norm Macdonald versus unfunny.
See, I didn't get
guy
the Norm
who can absolutely nail a punchline versus guy who laughs his way through.
He does. He laughs a lot.
Guy who's witty and hilarious. And I know that he has help with writing it.
I got caller Dave asking if you guys watched The Phenom. It was one of the best movies he's seen.
The Phenom.
I don't know
the
think
Phenom?
so. I don't think so.
I don't know the Phenom.
It was a 2016 baseball movie.
Okay. Wow. Interesting.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to check that one out.
Yeah, it's interesting. I never seen that.
But long story short, out on Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, I never got the I never got the Norm Weekend Update era. So I was kind of my entry point into it was Jimmy Fallon, and I liked him.
And
I liked him
at
the time.
A lot of my being able to watch Norm was because it was on Comedy Central in the summer, and they would just be playing old SNL,
right?
And you watch it that way.
Ethan Hawke and Paul Giamatti were in this Phenom movie.
Those are very good actors.
I've never seen Ethan Hawke in another movie outside of Training Day.
Really? Oh, Ethan Hawke is really good. He's in this. He's in a Hulu show that I loved last year called The Lowdown.
Whoa, he's still doing stuff?
Oh yeah.
I thought he kind of just went away.
I think you might be thinking of somebody else.
Maybe.
No, Ethan Hawke is a very, very good actor.
All right, that went a lot of places for our first segment, but we should probably step out of the way. Like I said, a lot of football stuff coming up today. We'll preview a big basketball weekend as well. Our local basketball teams are all in action. Nebraska goes to the rack. Creighton gets Seton Hall on Saturday. Might they win? I'll make the case for it.
Okay.
I'll make the case for it a little bit later on in the show. We'll talk about the NFL honors a little bit. When we come back, we'll talk about a horrible t-shirt that I saw. The Olympics start today. The opening ceremonies are today. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
I'm aware.
This is exciting. And I have one more college basketball game that I'd like to touch on briefly today, and that would be St. John's and UConn tonight at Madison Square Garden during said Olympics opening ceremonies. If you enjoy obese people yelling at each other in Madison Square Garden, I have the game for you.
What do they have to be obese?
Well, they just are.
All right.
That's just the way they rock up there. All right, we'll be back after this on 1620 The Zone. Well, just because the show takes a break doesn't mean the talking stops. And so we asked the question. The last question we asked before we turned the mics on was, "What's Hayden Panettiere up to these days?" Which I don't know that we still know the answer, but Schaefer informed me that she married a Klitschko.
Yeah,
which is exciting for her.
I think she still acts
She hasn't been in anything
recently.
Okay, she was in a movie called Sleepwalker this year.
And then she had a couple kids, I think, so that probably disrupted
nice.
some of the work pattern.
Congratulations to Hayden.
We got there because we were discussing movies still, and then we hadn't mentioned Hardball, which we both loved.
Yeah.
Which led us to talking about Michael B. Jordan, which then led to Remember the Titans.
Well, we were talking about like
when you know an actor's going to be good.
Yes, when you see an actor as a child or something like that, and you're like, oh wow, that person is going to be very, very good, and they're going to be a star. They're going to be in my life, as Bill Simmons would say. They're going to be in my life for the next 20 years.
I mean, that's Glenn Powell, and everybody wants them. And so it's wild now because I'm actually watching the Chad Powers show on Hulu.
Okay, so I've seen clips, and I'm mildly interested. I'm mildly interested. I'm not because it's a good show, but I've gotten a kick. Like I've kind of chuckled at a couple things that have happened.
That's essentially how you would describe it. Like at no point I want to tell people I'm watching it, but there's also like a handful of jokes in each episode that are funny.
Yeah.
And there's a handful of things in each episode you're like, this is so idiotically dumb.
Whoa.
But you keep, I'm 5 episodes in now at this point?
I like the bit of the team name being the Catfish. Like that I get it.
South Georgia. And then Steve Zahn is the
he's the coach.
He's the coach. He's great.
I love Steve Zahn. I love Saving Silverman.
I think yes. We might not get to sports if we keep talking about this.
You're talking about Saving Silverman.
But yeah, I consider it a low recommendation for Chad Powers. It's not It's not worthless if you know going in that it's not going to be the best thing that you ever watch.
Sindelar says, I've been over here saying that there needs to be more child actor updates on this show. Well, we could bring that to you. That could be a segment. That could be like a Tuesday segment. How's this child actor doing? We got some options.
Who do we want to check in on?
Usually not very good, by the way.
The kid from Jerry Maguire. What's he up to today? Jonathan LePinkney.
Whoa, nice. I have no idea. People automatically go to like Macaulay Culkin, who seems to be doing fine.
But the thing is,
pretty good.
I think we need to pick the ones that are going to be more around the age of which we are. Like Macaulay Culkin's close to 50 now, isn't he?
I would guess low 40s.
He's older than I am by at least.
I think he was born in 80 or 79.
45.
Okay, so
45.
We split
80.
the difference on that one.
You're right.
I mean, technically, you would win because I said 50. So I'll give you the victory.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought he would be as old as 45. Anyway, all right, let's talk about. Yeah, we have to pull this cord right now, just immediately,
or we will be lost on Super Bowl Friday.
The NFL honors last night. Congratulations officially to former Husker Roger Craig, who stood up on the stage last night with everyone's favorite NFL player of all time that didn't play for their team, Larry Fitzgerald. Some people's non-favorite, but city's favorite NFL quarterback of all time, Drew Brees.
Yeah.
And
he got subtweeted by Severe last night.
I saw it. People were like, whoa, what is this? And Severe did not mention that he was talking about Drew Brees.
Well, I saw it. I was like, did he forget to hit? No, he didn't forget to hit reply. I know what he's doing now. Like, that's my exact train of thought when I saw it.
He is leaving it out there. And then the other one was Larry Fitzgerald, Luke Kuechly. How could I forget? My Panthers, Luke Kuechly, who becomes,
congrats, Connor,
I believe the second youngest player ever to be inducted, or to when he gets inducted, to be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Now, as a Panthers fan, you are uniquely qualified to answer this. Is he the best player in Panthers history?
Is he the greatest Panther of all time?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking?
Because, I mean, it's obviously, you look at Ray Caruth at 1, and then you see if Luke Kuechly can get to the...
I have a place in my heart for Steve Smith.
Who Ray Caruth is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a place in my heart for Steve Smith.
I was gonna say so.
I love Steve Smith.
Steve Smith
And Adam
is the-
Vinatieri, by the way, was the other one.
Steve Smith is like the only other person I could think of that you'd really have that.
I love Steve Smith.
He was great.
Steve Smith was my first favorite NFL player.
Yeah, truly great. I don't know if there's another Panther that, because none of them have been there long enough to kind of.
I love D'Angelo Williams.
Wesley Walls.
Jonathan Stewart.
Jonathan Stewart was solid.
Yeah.
D'Angelo Williams was solid.
Jake Delhomme.
Delhomme took him to the Super Bowl.
People forget.
Otherwise, they're kind
Brian
of a franchise.
Burns.
Because like you think about the Jaguars, and Jaguars have Jimmy Smith and Fred Taylor and Mark Brunell and Blake Bortles and
Blake Bortles.
look, if you're really into the good place, it's Blake Bortles.
He took him to the AFC Championship game.
He did.
People forget.
And they should have won. They were up by 10 in the fourth quarter.
Terrible.
People forget.
They had Leonard Fournette.
Oh, good one. Greg
before he
Olson,
was-
Julius Peppers. Now
Greg Olson's a good one.
we're naming Panthers.
and Julius Peppers.
Cam
is a good
Newton's
one.
eligible for next year.
Is Julius Peppers or Luke Kuechly?
Are we going most beloved or best?
I think best.
It's probably Julius Peppers,
I think
right?
it is too.
Yeah, I think it's. But did he get into the Hall of Fame?
I would hope so.
I don't.
I feel like that happened.
Wasn't Julius? Am I misremembering Julius Peppers?
He was. He was inducted 2 years ago. Yeah, Julius
I
Peppers.
mean, he was phenomenal.
Julius,
He was great.
as they would call him in New Girl, Julius Pepperwood. Julius Peppers was great. That he's definitely up there. He's on the Mount Rushmore for sure. And then Luke Kuechly gets in last night. All right, send us your best Panthers. But
Whoever said Greg Olson, that was a good one.
what a class. And it was cool to like Roger Craig was clearly emotional on the stage, and then there's this whole debate starts to wage online about oh well, he was just a good. This is the Hall of Very Good, And Severe came in and pleaded the case yesterday. And then there was a conversation about like Eli Manning and if he's ever going to get in, which it doesn't seem like it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be a threshold of which so part of why Roger Craig makes the Hall of Fame, even if the baseline stats don't jump off the page in 2026, is that he more or less
he created
Right.
something. He was a
impactful.
pioneer. Yeah.
He's impactful beyond statistics. Like that has to
Correct.
matter to some point.
But children who are on the internet don't know that.
Sure.
They only view football as
And
existing in the last 4 years.
That's also why it was important to me that we have someone like Severe come in to contextualize like why this matters.
Exactly.
I understand why he's popular around here. He's from Nebraska. Like
Definitely.
that's the threshold to be popular here.
Yeah, you're not going to get any no
You
votes here.
I wanted to know what he means in the context of football. And I have read about Roger Craig and everything else, but it's still hearing someone talk about him, it goes beyond just the straight statistical measurement. Like if it's only about
100%.
stats, then we'd call Frank Gore the best running back of all time, and nobody believes that.
So that might be a good transition into another set of awards last night. The NFL MVP was announced at the end of the ceremony, which the NFL honors. I don't know that I've ever really watched that show before.
Is it the first time they've done a show before?
No, they do a show every year.
They've done it for, I think, a decade. They've been doing it for a while.
I feel like more people were in tune to this. I didn't even know it was happening.
I didn't either.
I was aware it was going on. I just did not
I flipped
know
on my
when
TV.
it happened.
I was looking for a college basketball game, and then my YouTube TV told me that show was on, and I said, "Oh, I guess I'll watch that show." And
was not a good night for college basketball.
And I turned it on, and the first thing that I saw was Bijan Robinson DJing, which I thought, all right, now I'm in. What do we got here? And it was a variety of different, celebrities, pop culture people that came up and presented awards and things like that. There was some of them who you clearly could tell had never seen the NFL before, which was pretty funny. And then there was Drewski, who very incorrectly pronounced Jackson Smith and Jigba. Very incorrectly, multiple times, seemingly purposefully. Nice job by Drewski. Great job. But anyway, we went on throughout the night. There were several performances. They put Raj back in the DJ booth, and he cracked off a couple jokes, which they were trying to do some comedy bits with him. But at the end, Matthew Stafford was named the 2025 NFL MVP. And then immediately after we got the voting breakdown. So he got 24 first place votes compared to Drake May's 23.
Yeah, it was way closer than I thought it was.
I did not imagine it being that
And
close.
Stafford in points beat out May 366 and 361. So they do like top, there's all the voters and you get top 5 points. So if you vote a guy 5th, you get 1 point, and then so on and so forth. From there, Josh Allen got 2 votes, first place votes for MVP. And Justin Herbert got the other one.
Yeah. Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert got the other one. Justin Herbert, who my lasting memory of Justin Herbert in 2025 was his hand being in a cast for like the last 6 weeks of the season and him not being able to throw.
Mine is him just being crumpled on the ground.
Right.
He's
yeah.
always
Been
hurt.
hit
Yeah.
again.
Like
Through no fault of his own, but he's just always on the ground.
And so that was the point that the one Justin Herbert MVP voter identified himself. It was Sam Monson, who is a pretty well-respected.
Yeah, he's a PFF guy, or he used to be. I
yes.
don't know if he.
He was formerly of PFF and now co-host of the Check the Mic podcast.
Okay.
He went to the podcast world. He says, I was the Justin Herbert vote. The guy had the worst offensive line in the NFL all season, and despite that, he was working miracles in almost every single game. Stafford's O-line became 2/5 as bad as Herbert's for 5 minutes, and he became a turnover howitzer. He, Herbert, embodied value. Which, I understand the point. I see what he's going for. I also just think we have to think about this like sort of conventionally. Like, he didn't have the requisite stats to win MVP. I mean, it's pretty simple.
The wins. He didn't win the division. He didn't,
He went to the playoffs, I guess.
Yeah, they got to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Kind of
Barely.
Did absolutely nothing in that game.
Right.
Right. I mean, they got to the playoffs because there's a 7th team in the playoffs.
Right.
So I get what he's trying to do. I just don't think like it's merits using a first place. Like if you want to give him 3rd place MVP voting,
Yeah.
sure.
And then obviously what happened after that is the New England fans came back out of the woodwork because they are back. I don't know if you've noticed this.
They're aggrieved.
They are aggrieved again, and they are very confident in their franchise. And they said, you, Sam, with your one MVP vote that went to Justin Herbert of all people, stole an MVP away from Drake May.
Is that actually wouldn't work out math wise?
It wouldn't.
Because
Correct. It would not work
that
out.
vote would
Basically,
tie.
just ignoring that.
Correct.
But they
Which
wouldn't
is a great practice anyway. Ignore all Patriots fans. But they would have tied in first place votes and Stafford would have won on points.
right. And so
So-
it doesn't, it wouldn't in aggregate still would have lost.
Correct.
So congrats on losing slightly closer.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
just so you know, that's what the conversation is right now for Patriots fans.
They
They are aggrieved.
I would, if we had votes on this show, I would have voted for Stafford over May and felt fine with it, in part because one of them played one of the hardest schedules in the entire league, and the other one played one of the easiest schedules since 1979.
Right.
So, and that's not like
And
it's not even a knock on May. The most annoying thing about this Patriots run to me is I really like their coach. I loved him when he was at Tennessee.
Me too.
I couldn't believe that they fired him for the Callahan Auto guy. And
Brian.
I loved Drake May to the
And
point
Tom
that I wanted
Callahan.
Minnesota to trade up for him. So did Kevin O'Connell. And,
Yeah.
they're now not here GM and he couldn't get it done, which I think the Patriots just weren't going to accept anything. I don't want to root for these guys with the Patriots.
I don't either,
Why couldn't
but
they be in some other
It's
organization?
a great question.
Drake May is outstanding. He really is.
Yeah.
But I couldn't give him MVP over Stafford.
And the other part of this was there was a conversation going on about, does Stafford wins MVP for the first time at age 37, right? And he announces at the end of his speech, I'm coming back next year. So I think there were some people who are pointing out like, hey, if you felt like they were the same guy this year, which there's a lot of statistics to say that they were pretty similar, and they got to similar places in the year, May's the Super Bowl and Stafford was in the NFC Championship game. Like, does the tiebreaker go to the guy who's, against the guy who's got a long career in front of him still? Like, I wouldn't think about it that way. I would have voted for Stafford.
Yeah. I guess that wouldn't have ever come into my that context wouldn't have come into my.
That was another conversation that was happening.
So there's kind of been this rumblings that the Rams may not want to actually run it back with Matt Stafford.
Rumblings?
Like he was sort of they've sort of lightly like were planning on a future without him because of his back issue.
Right.
And then they kind of had like a weird contract thing that's now no one talks about because he obviously had such a good season and he's MVP. Like, is there a world where he comes back after an MVP season and is with a different team?
Great question. This is the first I'm hearing of this.
This is like complete recklessly throwing it out there.
This is radio.
But that's definitely was like a thing at one point in time.
No, I mean, there was, if you go back to preseason this year, it was like, is he
Right.
okay?
And it does make me wonder if like the Rams as an organization are ready for the next. Obviously, they made it to the NFC Championship.
I think you probably just have to ride it out with
But I
them.
think they had everything that they could have had go well for them, save for the fact the best team in the NFL was in their own division.
I just don't think you could kick him out the door.
It's the same reason why the Vikings had to send a contingent of people to bring back Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Because you were right there on the precipice, but I also know how that movie ended.
Also, we had a very specific experience involving your Minnesota Vikings about a year ago where, they decided to not bring the quarterback back and then had a much, much, much worse quarterback the next year and ended up with crap all over their face.
Would be
and
available.
the GM got fired.
They could look if the Rams want JJ McCarthy to start over their quest, they can have him.
They can have him. Maybe it'll go better for them.
But
although
I'm sure they'll bring him back. The Rams had everything go right for them that they could have from a health standpoint.
Yep.
The guy has a fracture in his back and did all of this.
His shoulder was hurt the whole year.
It is remarkable the season that he had. I'm not like by any means the biggest Matt Stafford guy, but he had a phenomenal year at that age. Like it's going to be really hard to replicate that.
Yeah. Just got a text from a local Rams fan who says, I do not want JJ McCarthy.
Don't blame you. Don't blame you.
I don't blame him. Luckily, I don't think that's on the table for you.
No, it's I mean, I don't think that
you're stuck with him.
The Rams are a good organization and they would not have him.
The Vikings are a good organization. They just win in spite of themselves.
That appears to be true.
That's how I would phrase it. They just don't win enough in spite of themselves.
They're good in all areas except for keeping a solid quarterback. They've done this so many times.
Sad. When we come back, we get into the Super Bowl spirit with our City of the Day on 1620 The Zone. Well, we just found, and thanks to the comments from earlier, I think Debo helped us out with this. We didn't realize that there's actual Olympics going on right now on USA Network, so we just tuned into some figure skating. Yet again, this is the 20th Happer and Schaefer show. This is like the 7th time we've had live sports on pre 7 o'clock.
Pretty fantastic.
It's really good. I don't get the problem with all this crap. People ask me all the time, "Hey, what's it like waking up in the morning?" It's like, I don't know. It's the same thing. There's live sports on. It's just dark.
Have you considered that you're about to enter a baseball season in which you will get to watch midday baseball, not having to do radio at the same time?
Exciting.
It is pretty great.
Exciting. I am not excited to not watch West Coast baseball, though.
Ooh, that's going to be tough.
Yeah, because I usually would turn on a game after the Royals finished up at 10.
The thing is with the pitch clock,
I'm sorry
to
to
be
the
done by
Mariners.
11:30.
That's
You can make it happen.
So I apologize in advance to the Mariners and the A's and the Padres, who I watched, and the Diamondbacks, who I watched a lot last year.
I watched a lot of A's games last year for some
What
reason.
would you do if a game goes to like 18 innings, like a night game go to 18 innings?
I'd quit and move on to the next one. I don't. It's a bit-
Especially in the middle of the week.
Yeah.
And yet with you having to go to work real early.
Yeah, we'll just leave it, and I'll find out when I wake up.
We just make a pact that nobody can look up the result when we watch the condensed game in the
Ooh,
morning.
good one. Yeah,
I was going to say just record the game and then just stop where you're at and then finish at work.
I can't really do that.
it's a baseball game.
That's
doesn't-
the other
yeah.
thing. There's 162 of them, so if I miss 4 innings,
People forget there's a lot of games.
There is a lot of games. All right. Another thing there's a lot of towns in America. And we did a bit when Schaefer and I did a little show called the Recruiting Hour together, where when we would find out about a recruit, we would look at their hometown and then do a little deep dive on their hometown, see what's going on, who are some famous alums, who are some some people who live there or were born there,
inhabitants,
things like that. What's going on in these towns? And so I think we're going to do this each Friday. We'll pick a town in America.
We will throw it open, though. If your town wants to be involved,
let us know.
You can. And if you represent your town in any kind of capacity, if you're a mayor, we'd be happy to have you on. If you are somebody from the Chamber of Commerce and want to talk about your town.
Except for the fake Michigan State, or except for the Charlotte Chamber of Commerce guy who called it every big red overreaction. Yeah. That guy was fake. He was
then
it was a fun bit.
We can avoid
it. It was a good bit. All right. So today, our first city will be topical today is not San Francisco, Santa Clara, California, home of the Super Bowl on Sunday, and in Levi's Stadium, which is like basically the most prominent thing that happens in Santa Clara. All right, Santa Clara, California. Population 127,647. It makes it the 8th most populous city in the Bay Area.
Yeah, that's...
Would you like to take any stabs at the other most populous cities in the Bay Area that are more populous than Santa Clara?
Okay. San Francisco,
yes.
Oakland.
Number 2,
San
number
Jose.
3, number 1.
Let's see.
You
what
won't
else?
get any of the other ones, I don't think.
It's like, I don't know what constitutes being in the Bay Area. It's
Yeah.
like Monterey in the Bay Area.
No.
It's
Is
a bit south.
Sacramento. Sacramento's not in the Bay Area.
No. You won't get any of the other
Okay.
ones.
There's
All right.
Fremont.
Fremont.
Okay, Fremont I probably should have known because
Okay.
there's a fair amount of football players that come from there.
Fremont, Santa
Stockton?
Rosa,
No, Stockton's not in the Bay Area.
Hayward, and Sunnyvale are
I've heard
the
of all of them for what it's worth, but I would not have come up with most
more
of them.
populous towns. There's some other towns that you may have heard of, but that are less populated than Santa Clara. Okay, so 8th most populous city in the Bay Area. Top employers. Thank you, Wikipedia. Applied Materials, Intel, AMD, Kaiser Foundation Health Plan, NVIDIA.
Ooh, Nvidia stock originates out of Santa Clara.
It's a big one. California's Great America, which is an amusement park. They have a big amusement park in Santa Clara. Dell, and then Santa Clara University, City of Santa Clara, and Macy's. Apparently, they have a very big Macy's or some sort of a Macy's headquarters as well. excellent employer list. It's obviously in Silicon Valley. It's a big sort of like tech hub and certainly surrounded by it as well. Famous Santa Clarans. Now,
Is it Santa Clarans or Santa Claridians?
I looked this up. It is Santa Clarans. Claridians, Santa Clarita is a different city.
Oh,
It is a different
I
place.
did not know that.
look at us. We're
Entirely.
learning.
Santa Clarans. So there weren't a whole lot of like famous people or anything like that. And who knows which, if they're from the Bay Area, which towns they're actually like assigned to as far as all that is concerned. But here's 3. Are you ready? They're athletes. They're all athletes. Mitch Haniger. Do you know about Mitch Haniger?
I certainly know about Mitch Haniger.
Troy Tulowitzki.
I certainly know about Troy Tulowitzki.
And Jim Plunkett.
Former quarterback, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm familiar with all 3 of these guys.
Those are your famous Santa
They don't have any
Clarans.
just like random celebrities that are from Santa Clara?
There's a lot of business people that you wouldn't know their names, but you
Mm-hmm.
maybe would know the business and things like that. But no, not a whole lot of that.
Wow.
So a couple fun facts. After the Super Bowl, Levi's Stadium will prepare to host matches at the World Cup this summer, along with several North American venues. And this is from the Santa Clara website. What historians believe was the first true road in California, the Alameda between Santa Clara and San Jose, was designated by the White House Millennium Council as one of the 50 community Millennium Trails in California. The first true road, whatever the hell that means, in California was in Santa Clara. So
Wow.
shout out
Like, are
to
we talking about
Santa
paved
Clara.
or gravel or
Unclear, Joey. I don't know. I wish I knew. For those of you who are watching along with us on the YouTube, here is I like to have my geography straight. When I'm talking about a city. So here is here's the local map. You could see Levi's Stadium right there near northwest of San Jose. There's the whole Bay Area, San Francisco, Oakland, and then you keep going up north to wine country up there. But it is quite spread out.
Quite spread out.
If you haven't heard the media complaining about that this week. Any more takes on Santa Clara?
The movie Beverly Hills Cop
Whoa!
3
Whoa!
was filmed in parts in Santa Clara.
All right.
So that's otherwise the other movies are nothing I've ever heard of. I'd be happy to tell you.
Excellent.
Have you ever heard of Getting Even with Dad?
No.
Birdie,
No.
Mm-mm.
No.
Mad City,
No.
The Dead Pit.
Definitely not.
Yeah. So basically, Beverly Hills Cop 3, the only notable movie that has scenes shot in and around Santa Clara.
Okay. There's obviously been a ton around
They
the Bay
featured scenes
Area.
at the amusement park, California's Great Adventure.
California Great Adventure.
Great America. Great America.
Oh, yes, Great America. Right. Cracky says The Rock is the best San Francisco movie. Ooh, best San Francisco movie. Is there how many? I mean, there's a lot of Alcatraz.
The Pursuit of Happiness is a good movie.
That good one.
Wow.
It's a
Good.
really good movie.
Good one.
work.
I forgot that was set there.
I
Yeah.
mean, is it in like bad form to say the Zodiac is the best San Francisco movie? I mean, it didn't work out for a lot of people.
No, I mean,
but-
like it was a bad circumstance why the movie was made, but maybe a decent movie. A lot of Alcatraz movies.
Miss Doubtfire is a San Francisco movie.
Oh, how about Full
Um,
House, the
let's-
television show?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Wake up, San
certainly.
Francisco. Wake up.
There's a lot of
The,
movies.
the
San
Rise of the Planet of the Apes took place in San Francisco.
Okay. All right.
Sister Act in San Francisco.
I never heard of that.
You've never heard of Sister Act?
Mm-mm.
Really?
Yeah, what is that?
I can't tell if this is a bit or not.
It's not. I don't know what that
it's
is.
a massively popular comedy from the 90s with Whoopi Goldberg as pretending to be a nun.
Okay. That
And then Sister
vaguely
Act
rings
2
a bell.
was really big. Like it's the Sister Act movies were big.
Dave writes in on Twitter, dear friend Dave. So I married an axe murderer. Best San Francisco movie,
Okay.
hands down.
48 Hours, San Francisco movie. Tons of like
people are
Basic
saying,
Instinct, the
Built,
San Francisco movie.
Basic Instinct, Vertigo. We're getting in the comments right now. All right, we got options. Shout out to San Francisco. I'm sure there will be many shots of bridges.
Bridges.
I wonder what the first air, like when Tarico welcomes in the broadcast on Sunday, what the aerial shot is going to be. Maybe it'll be the electrical substation.
It's going to go down between the bridge or Alcatraz, and I think it's going to be the bridge.
They should have figured out how to play this at Alcatraz.
And
now that would have been cool.
If they
Alcatraz Super Bowl, hell yeah,
that would have been real cool.
That's what I'm talking
and
about.
I'm predicting eventually during the broadcast, I'll probably play Journey's Lights when the sun sets in San Francisco.
When the lights, absolutely. That is a minus 5,000.
Will they? Isn't there a train song that "Save Me, San Francisco"? Will they play that at some point?
That I don't know about.
I feel like there's a. I don't think I just.
You are the
train
train expert of the show.
Thank you. I don't know if that's a title I want, but thank you.
All right. Well,
That's a good graphic idea.
We'll come back and continue on. 7 o'clock hour of Happer and Schaefer up next on 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome back. 7 o'clock, 7:06. We're doing time again here on Happer and Schaefer, 1620 The Zone. 16
On Super Bowl Friday.
On Super Bowl Friday.
Saturday in Australia.
For stepping on your telling people what the station is.
That's okay. 1620 The Zone. People know. So got a lot of comments on the city thing, and many people are, we're bordering on angry at this point that we had no mention of Dirty Harry.
Dirty Harry is a terrific movie.
Yeah.
But part of it is there's so many movies in San Francisco. Like it's, stuff is going to get lost. Like that's just what happens.
Yeah. Terry says on the Equitable Bank inbox, Connor at 1620thezone.com, all the Dirty Harry movies were based in SF. There are numerous quotes from those movies. You guys might lose your man cards for skipping over Clint. Okay, so first of all, here's what you got to know. I have not seen very many movies. Famously, right? So just thought I'd reiterate that point.
I have seen many movies.
Also, I have probably lost my man card a long time ago. A long time.
I don't watch a lot of movies. I get people at work asking me if I've seen this movie, and they know the answer, no.
The answer is always no. What has Joey watched? Sports.
Joey watches basketball.
The Green Bay Packers.
And he throws on YouTube best special teams coaches in America and watches them run drills. And then sends them to
watch
Richard
all the
Bisaccia
Packers
deal.
special teams heartbreaker.
Would you rather have Rich Bisaccia or whoever coordinated the Rams special teams this year?
Whoever coordinates the Rams special teams.
That guy got fired.
I know.
So you're just like, take that guy. I don't care. They were horrible.
Better than Richard Bisaccia.
We might not be talking about the Seahawks in the Super Bowl if that guy wasn't so bad at his job, because Rashid Shaheed took back that punt in the second Rams game, and history was different from there.
So if they don't win that game, they have to go through SoFi. You think they wouldn't be able to win in SoFi?
Is it possible?
Yeah, it's
they could win at SoFi. Seattle fans will show up and be loud there, like the 49ers fans do.
Yeah, they probably still win. I don't know.
I think they'd still win.
I just think
they're the
Seattle's
better overall team.
That's kind of just been my whole thing.
Seattle was probably better.
Their roster is just better.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about if they're better than their opponents on Sunday as we go on throughout the show. I got this email from Al in Minneapolis. We both got it. Connor, Mike, 1620thezone.com. Little Husker football topic. There won't be much time to talk about Husker football, I don't think today, but I did want to get this in response to our temperature check yesterday. He says this: Connor and Mike, I'm not so sure that another 500-ish season is a bad thing / a poor reflection on Rule. If Nebraska wins 6 to 8 games, I think that's pretty normal for what you'd expect Iowa or Minnesota to do against a schedule that includes 3 top 10 teams. So why should we expect Nebraska to perform drastically different than those teams that have longer institutional stability than the Huskers? The most important thing that could happen for Nebraska this season is just having a season that feels normal. Each of the last 3 seasons have been weird and awkward for a variety of reasons. 2023, they were playing a tight end at quarterback. 2024 was arguably the most normal year, which just had a freshman quarterback high and lows with a good defense. 2025, there was coaching speculation drama paired with a major quarterback injury. There's been no opportunity to coast. If Nebraska could just have a season where the lines develop and you feel like you develop an infrastructure to plug and play an exciting 2027 class, I think that would do wonders for the overall temperature. It's not about the record. It's about the vibe. Stability and being old is the name of the game. Nebraska has a veteran O-line and a veteran quarterback for the first time in a long time, which gives me reason for hope. Tony, this is almost done. Tony has had Tony Calandria. Tony has had his ups and downs, but 2 things he has done a ton are 1, confidence in slinging that thing, and 2, lots of reps and playing time. He will be hot, he will be cold, but he will always be electric. Happy Friday, Al in Minneapolis. What do you think about that? I think the main point of it was it's not about the record, it's about the vibe.
And so I think what he's effectively saying is if they were to go 7-5, they would have done so and not really underachieved for the first time in the last couple of years. Like that's
part of generic point. Yeah.
I mean, part of it for 24 and 25 is that it feels worse because it felt like they let games go or should have won more games than they did. In 26, if they go 7-5, it feels that they probably overachieved to a degree, slightly, maybe.
The more I think about it, the more I agree completely with the email, because
Yeah,
I mean, if you the record, especially this far out, I've been saying at the end of last season when people were already starting to do the scheduling, I called them schedule fearmongers. Or like, have you seen that schedule next year? That's what they would say. That's the schedule fearmonger guy. He kind of sounds like Beef Man.
he doesn't really sound like Beef Man. He sounds like
the schedule.
he sounds like an old man with no teeth.
That's what they would say. They said, "Have you seen that schedule for next year? We better win right now." That's what they would say. He's a cousin of Beef Man.
Oh wow!
And I'm like,
those family reunions must be something.
and my point was, can we not do that? First of all, I think we should have like a higher baseline expectation for Nebraska, against even though there's no recent history to suggest that they would win any of those games. But second of all, like, we didn't know that Penn State was going to suck this year. We didn't know 2 years ago that Indiana was going to be as good as they were. So like, things drastically change on a team by team level, and who knows what kind of team you get at the point in the season in which you get them, So I think that if you go 7-5, that does not tell you the entire story of how the season went. There, you could theoretically go still, even with the schedule, go 7-5 next year and still feel disappointed at the end of it. Like, that is a potential thing that is in the cards for them. So, I say all that is to say I kind of agree with Al. Like, I mean, that's sort of where I'm at too. It's, just have a season where it feels like there's some real growth. And I know that feels soft and like a low expectation and all those things. And at a certain point, you do have to win games. But if you do have the kind of season where it feels like, oh wow, there's real tangible growth here, and I see which direction they're going, chances are the wins will follow it, even in next season.
I mean, I think the biggest thing Nebraska can do for itself is find a way to win one of those 3 games against a top team. Like,
God, that would be great.
Take a game against someone that doesn't think that, and I'm not talking about winning against Iowa. Like, it'd be great to get a win against Iowa, but that's not on the same rung as it would be as if you beat a ranked Ohio State at home, or beat a ranked Indiana at home, or went on the road and beat Oregon. Like, do something unexpected in a good way, and people will have more support for it. Now, at the same time, if you do that and then you lose at Piscataway, you kind of minimize it. But if you can get to 7-5 and one of those wins is a big one, and you lost close at home to Washington and on the road against Iowa, okay, there's pathways here for sure. And the other thing is, I think people want to see players develop, and feel like they've hit their potential. So we're not having the same, like, man, Ja'Cory Barney could be really good. No, he's good. Isaiah Hunter is one of the best receivers in the Big Ten. Can that be a thing that happens this year?
Somebody asked me, or asked Mitch and I on the podcast for our mailbag, which just came out like 15 minutes ago.
Man,
that's right. I'm in 2 places at once. What is the biggest, what's your biggest concern or biggest gripe or something like that with the program right now? And I said, the answer is pretty simple for me. It's the lack of direction on offense, right? Yeah. So what if they pull that together this year? What if they're able to sort of figure out, even though you're only going to have 1 year with Tony as the quarterback, but
TC.
if you pull that together and have a better understanding of what you want it to look like in 2027, maybe that's even not having a different offensive coordinator or something. Like, it's possible that that's the direction too. I think that's a way where you could feel better despite whatever the results like hardcore results, record, things like that might be. Have a direction.
Yeah.
And it's I get the point. People are probably grumbling in their car right now. How are we talking about they don't have a direction in year 4? Like, I get it, but that's sort of where we're at right now.
Or, I mean, if it doesn't end up being the offense and Rob Orich is able to work wonders with your defense, and you can go to be the type of team that you thought you were getting with Matt Rule, which is a hard-nosed defensive team, You figure out how to win games that way. Like, I think people around here could accept the fact if Nebraska is a limited offensive team, but they're outstanding on defense. They take the ball away. They hit people hard. They force, I already said turnovers, but they have, they get pressure on the quarterback. They get off the field. They're a great third down team. I mean, if all of those things can happen, like it just, part of what made 2025 so blah is that nothing was good. Like the offense wasn't nearly good enough. The defense wasn't good at all.
And that it ended the way it ended.
Right. And, 3 straight losses, getting blown out is tough to stand. That's the thing that hadn't happened under Matt Rule. Like you hadn't really been blown out that much. Obviously, the Indiana game stands as the big one there, but they came back right after that and played Ohio State tooth and nail in the horseshoe. So that's
inconsistent.
So some of it is just
I'd like to know what to expect.
That it finished.
Right. I'd like to know what to expect.
Have something you can hang your hat on.
That is a great start. And so to Al's point, like that's not a win and loss thing. That's not a 7-5, 6-6, 8-4, whatever thing. That is just a thing where you know it when you see it. That type of deal. I was trying to think as you were making the point.
As I was bloviating, you can just say that.
No, because I thought about it a little
meandering through my commentary.
You said they need to jump up and beat one of those 3.
Yeah,
they do badly. Because I think that's part of the reason it feels stale. It's just they haven't given the fan base anything to be surprised about, like in a pleasant way, in a long, long time. So when was the last time they won?
2015, Michigan State
as an underdog.
Oh, as an underdog. Iowa 2022.
So they were a slight underdog at UCLA this year.
They were.
That's what I'm reading on the historical OddsShark database right now. I don't remember it that way, but they were.
What I remember from that game is it felt like Nebraska should have won 56-10.
Yeah, they won 28-21. Before that, now I don't count this one either because it was a point. We're talking about a 1.5 spread, and it's against it's an inconsequential sort of program. They beat Purdue as an underdog in 2023.
Yep.
I remember that game. That's where they took back the blocked field goal and they high-fived on the way to the end zone. Shout out Tommy Hill.
They weren't underdogs of the Friday night at Illinois, I don't think.
And then before that, it was the Friday night at Illinois. They were 3-point underdogs.
They were,
I believe, if I'm reading this right. Yeah. They were 3-point underdogs in that game. They won 20-7. And then Iowa 2022 before that. And then before that, Purdue 2020. Right? They were like, we're talking about a point.
Oh my gosh.
But like, that's to your point, Schaefer. Like, they just haven't jumped up and beat anybody that it just really felt like they weren't supposed to.
Yeah, and I'm over here like, be one of the top 10 teams. And it's like, well, if you actually just beat Illinois or Washington when you were a 5-point underdog, it'd feel like a miracle.
Yeah. Like teams win when they're touchdown underdogs like all the time.
Routinely.
For whatever reason, Nebraska just hasn't.
Nebraska routinely has lost as a touchdown favorite.
Their last they're 5-25 straight up in their last 30 games as an underdog. Just an underdog of any number. And the games in which they have won, the 5 games in which they have won, they've been 1.5 underdogs, 3-point underdogs, 10.5-point underdogs against Iowa in 2022. So that's the big one. And then I'm missing one. 1-point underdogs against Purdue in 2020. So they haven't done that. I mean, like you can win it's possible. You could do it. You could win as a 7-point underdog. In fact, like you said, Nebraska's lost a lot of games as 7-point favorites.
Routinely.
Pretty routine. I mean, I could look those stats up.
They've been reverse covered as double-digit favorites.
Oh yeah, we remember some. I mean, hell, I could pull this up right now if we have a second to sort of.
We have as much time as you want to give it.
So Nebraska in its last 30 games as just straight up favorites, period. of any number, 20 and 10.
Yeah.
All right. Losses 7.5-point underdog.
If they were 10 and 20 as underdogs and 20 and 10 as favorites, it would better.
That would feel a lot better.
It would make it feel better, but they would probably be in a very similar spot to
the problem would still be the problem because they have
still a very mediocre,
we're beating good teams, but at least the floor, I guess, would be higher. So they lost. They were touchdown favorites against Minnesota this year, debacle. They were touchdown favorites against UCLA in 2024, debacle. They were 9.5-point favorites on that Friday night game against Illinois in 2024.
Yeah, that one is one of those where the line was just wrong.
Probably. But
even
many
then,
chances
they still
to
should have won
game.
that game. Absolutely should have won that game. I don't think they would have covered 10.
2.5-point favorites against Iowa in 2023. Another field goal loss. 3-point favorites against.
They were favored against Iowa in 23 at home with Chubba Purdy starting because Iowa's quarterback situation in 23 and 24 was so horrendous.
Disaster.
And they went on.
I believe it was like a Deacon Hill situation.
Yeah.
They were giant favorites against Georgia Southern when they lost that game. Pretty big favorites, 12.5-point favorites against Northwestern in the Ireland game. Debacle. 7.5 against Purdue.
Now we're into Frost territory.
We're in the Frost era at this point. But you're right. If the weight is heavier on the losing as favorites compared to the winning as underdogs.
Just a underachieving program.
Yep. That's probably a good way to put it. John writes in on the text line, looking and hoping for growth in year 4 is a reason for Dannon to be fired so they can hire an AD that isn't a moron and will fire Rule. Yeah, I'm not like John's been there.
I don't think anyone's going anywhere.
I'm not there. Yeah, I'm not.
I think John should just get comfortable with the fact that Troy Dannon and Matt Rule are very, very likely to be in their positions at the start of 27.
Joseph on YouTube says 7-5 in year 4 is not acceptable. I don't care what the schedule is. It's just not. I just think it and I'm not making excuses for him, but it deserves a little bit more context than that. Given what it has been. And admittedly, I probably side too much on the scale of I appreciate continuity and consistency. And I just don't think Nebraska needs to go down that road right now. Or probably next year. I mean, depending on how it looks and all that stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just don't have my head isn't on fire as it pertains to that at this exact moment.
Yeah, I also
my head's on fire in other ways.
I have a tough time with the so this record isn't good enough in this year part of it. Because we're coming off of a stretch where Nebraska for 7 years wasn't good enough in any way, shape, or form.
I wish Rule wouldn't talk about it as much as he wants to now.
And I also think it's a victim of how much we had to hear about Matt Rule year 3.
Yes.
So much was made of that. And we're obviously part of it too, as being part of the media structure. But none of this has been like anything that he has done elsewhere. And that's about him. That's about the other places. That's not to say that he's above reproach or criticism, because he's not. I have no issue criticizing him. I just don't. I can't put it. I can't get to the context of blank record isn't good enough in blank year.
Yeah, it deserves a little bit more information.
And that's not to say you shouldn't think that Nebraska, you should absolutely hope and feel that Nebraska is much better than a 7-5 team. I get that. I'm not trying to say you shouldn't.
Yeah,
I just don't think it's going to result in the change that people are hoping.
Let me put it this way. And we'll take a break after this. If you are looking for a not so much a Signetti like win a national championship, but if you're looking for it to really pop, the best chance that Nebraska has to make it pop is with the current coach you have.
Yeah,
that it can happen. I mean, not to use Fred here, but it happened with Fred.
Well, you have two options, right? You either churn and burn,
right?
And hope to get lucky.
We'll get lucky. We'll find the magic in the bottle, and that will just be us.
Or you choose to build. That's it. Those are your only options.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just just like when you play blackjack, you have to pick between hitting on 16 and staying on 16. You can't just have a feel for the moment.
Some people, well, our guest at 9:15 likes to talk about how he can feel things.
Yeah, well, our guest at 9:15 has felt many things. So it's one of these, like, you have to have sort of an approach with that. If you want to churn and burn, that's fine. But then you have to be committed to doing that and knowing, like, hey, we're turning it over every 2 to 3 years if it's not where we want it at.
Yeah.
And if people want that, great. I think it's really hard to sustain interest. It's going to be financially difficult to pull off.
It's like drinking a high sugar energy drink, and like it'll get you going for about 15 minutes.
And that's not to say, again, if you want to build through it, there has to be a point where you need to see the results be on the other side.
No doubt.
And if you're on the case of, well, we're in year 4, that we're at that point, I get it. I can accept that.
Yeah. But the context is important. All right. We'll take a time out. Any thoughts on that? We will take them 402-951-1620. We have plenty more to come. We'll preview the big game, the basketball this weekend as well. Plenty to come here on Happer and Schaefer on 1620 The Zone. But first, a word from our friends at Underdog Fantasy. Football's biggest game, as you know, is coming up, and you can get in on all the action with Underdog right now in Nebraska. If you're not on Underdog yet, then you have luck on your side, because new customers score $75 in fantasy bonus entries when you make your first $5 fantasy entry playing on Underdog. Let me tell you about it. It is easy, folks. And now is the perfect time to take those favorite players in this game. If your team narrative, Sam Darnold, take his hires. If you are anti Sam Darnold, take his lowers for this game. That's just one of the many examples. If you get them right, you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. And up until the game, of course, there's new promos dropping daily in the app. So if you like making picks and if you like winning money, Underdog is the place to be. What are you waiting for? Download the app today and use promo code HAPPER1620 to score $75 in fantasy bonus entries when you play your first $5 on fantasy. Promo code HAPPER1620. Underdog, make picks, win money. Must be 19 plus and present in Nebraska. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/playing-good-terms_DFS_.html for details. Concern with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.ncpgambling.org. From the 402, Fred and Rule comparison is lazy and straight up stupid. Fred is calm and cool during games because he actually understands the sport and what's going on or what's going wrong / right. Rule is near manic on the sideline and makes recurring foolish decisions with timeouts, challenges, fourth downs because he doesn't understand the game well. I mean, come on. He understands the game well. He's a college football coach. He does, I agree that he's a little sporadic, a little kind of everywhere on the sideline. The only reason I brought up Fred is just as one very convenient example of it.
How staying the course has led to a better
pop.
Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
it can pop under a coach who's been there for multiple years.
Yeah.
But I agree. Like, I always thought Fred was a good coach, and I'm less sure about Rule in that regard. So
Well-
I agree with I get the point.
And what have we thought about Matt Rule? Like, the idea is that he can build a program, and I still think there's there's elements of this that are much better than it's been. The problem is it's not to where people want it to be, and it kind of feels like it's plateaued. So if you are able to win a few more games or win games that you're not supposed to do, have it look different to I think this is kind of where you sort of reside a little bit. There's an element of this of let's see what it looks like without a Raiola involved.
100%. That is a potential area of. Now we've been burned by that before.
Well, 2023 stands as opposite of it, but I'm also the first year in the program and without things kind of set how he wants. I mean, there's certainly, I think there's enough elements where it's like it could go well, but there's also enough things where it's like it could just look how it has.
Yeah,
which is a tough spot to be.
It definitely is. So, I mean, look, we got several more months to discuss where they need to be and where they need to go. The Big Ten Conference is something that Nebraska will have to navigate. And yeah, we could take a phone call on this eventually, but I wanted to bring this up real quick. This took over the internet yesterday. If you're watching along with us on YouTube, you could see this. This is a T-shirt released by the Big Ten Conference and their partner at Rally House. You can now buy a shirt that says Big Ten Trifecta, the championship trifecta. It on the shirt says Trifecta in giant letters, 2023 Michigan, 2024 Ohio State, and 2025 Indiana. And many people rightfully responded, who in their right mind would buy this shirt?
It's a waste of $35.
Was it $35?
Yeah, I clicked on the link to see how much it costs, just to see how much they're ripping off the people that are buying the shirt.
Nobody's buying the shirt.
If
Nobody's
somehow
buying
I
this shirt.
came in possession of this shirt, I would love to burn the shirt.
I don't know if I want to burn it, but maybe I'd get it signed by Tony Petiti and then
And gift it to John Bishop.
Head of Big Ten officiating, Bill Carollo.
good one. Oh yeah, it's good. Yeah, have Gus Johnson sign it too, or something like that.
No,
This is a horrible shirt.
It's-
Why would a Michigan fan buy this?
Or Ohio State
Or
fan.
an Ohio State fan buy this? Or an Indiana fan buy this? Or any Big Ten? The thing that bothered me the most about it at first was the Big Ten trying to be the SEC and toot its own horn about how good it is. This is not the Big Ten Conference. Don't do this. Do not do this. In the Big Ten, we hate each other. It is a tale as old as time. We are not a all for all conference.
It is truly who in the world is going into a rally house and they're like, this is the shirt that I want.
Hell yeah, Big Ten, Big Ten, Big Ten. No, we don't do that here.
It doesn't fit the vibe of the Maction shirt I got. The Ypsilanti.
Oh yeah, did you get the?
Yeah, I got the Ypsilanti.
You wouldn't survive a night in Ypsilanti.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah,
I got that shirt.
it's a great one.
It's a great one.
See, there's a
I survived a night in
novelty
Ypsilanti.
to that shirt. There's no novelty. It's just trash.
Exactly. Throw the T-shirt away. Thank you very much. All right, let's take a phone call on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Here's Brian. Hey, Brian. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Good. Hey, a couple things. I just jumped in on the call, so I was hearing the latter part of that. So excuse me if I'm I may be off here. I mean, when I think, I just want to run some things past you. I mean, I'm thinking Nebraska's off. I mean, we're in trouble. And then this is just what I'm thinking here is we got a guy that's coming in as a quarterback we know nothing about. We didn't get a portal running back. And now he's trying to sell us on the fact that Brent Maher is going to be a great special teams coach. Well, why did we hire Eckler last year if he was so great before? Why didn't we just promote him before we hired Eckler? That's been bothering me, that Maher, that they're trying to sell that. I mean, maybe he will be, but I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't think they're trying to sell you too hard on it, but like I think the sales pitch from Rule on special teams has been like, yeah, well, we can do what Eckler did last year without Eckler, so we're going to try and do that. Which I don't know if that's true or correct.
I mean, let's think about this, though. Think about that. We're just going to do what Eckler did? Come on.
Fair. Fair to wonder about.
I
fair to wonder
have
about.
a total understanding of where you're coming from.
Replace okay, let's just say you get rid of a head coach. Well, we're just going to do what Nick Saban did. I mean, come on. That is about an asinine statement I've ever heard.
I mean, that's exactly what Nebraska did in 1997 when Tom Osborne retired. Frank Solich was just going to do what Tom Osborne did.
It did not work.
It did not work.
Yeah, I guess that's where I'm going. I'm just saying the leader's the leader. He made a difference, and I don't know. I guess maybe Rule must be intimidated by him or something. I don't know what the whole deal is with that, but whatever. I just had to get that off my chest. That's kind of been bothering me.
Thank you, Brian. We'll be your therapist anytime. Appreciate the call.
Yeah, there's an element to this that there's really nothing Matt Rule could have done in terms of Mike Eckler. Like they offered for him to stay, he chose not to stay. Like that's its own thing. And then you get into this part of it, and that's kind of where, I don't know, we don't have Brian on the phone anymore, but your options were either you like this system, you want to stick in this system, you try to stay with the people that are familiar with the system so you could retain the system, or you go look for a different special teams coordinator and you bring in his system and probably change out almost all of your specialists, save for Jack Will. So those were your options. Like that's effectively what it was. And so I don't have a problem with Nebraska deciding, hey, we want to stick with this system. I don't like all the words that were used to describe how we got here by Matt Rule. I don't need the glory of special teams.
Agreed.
I didn't need the petty commentary. I didn't need him saying that they're going to be better. I didn't need him trying to sort of minimize what special teams was for Nebraska in 2025. That's where my issue with it all was.
100%.
The rest of it, there's nothing he could do. Like he could not physically retain Mike Eckler or prevent him from leaving. They tried to keep him. Mike Eckler chose to go somewhere else.
And
there's this idea, and I'm not saying that this is Brian, but I have definitely seen it elsewhere, that like Matt Rule pushed him out the door. That is not what happened at all.
Now, did the relationship sour a little bit when he didn't sign the contract?
I don't think the relationship
extension?
was bad until he like basically left or informed him, hey, I'm going somewhere else. I'm going to do something else. And then I think it changed.
Right.
But that's where I think things switch. I don't think that when they offered him the deal in October and it sat on his desk and he didn't sign it, because there was no reason to suspect that it was a sour relationship in bowl prep when he, said, hey, we're going to have Mike Eckler help more with the linebacker. Like he threw him a bone during bowl prep, but it, I think, goes beyond what we know of at this point in time in terms of what Mike Eckler actually wanted out of all of this.
And like you, Schaefer, my problem with it the entire time has been what happened
response.
After that.
Not the decision to empower Nick Humphrey and Brett Maher as the next people.
That has a chance to be fine. Or I don't know about doubling down on the whole idea of like we could just be Eckler without Eckler.
Right.
That general state, like that probably won't work.
It's the rest of it where it's like,
Right.
you didn't need to do any of that.
And then to
And
Brian,
this story would have been dead, I think, had he not.
It would have been. There's no doubt. And then to Brian's first point, like the thing that I think we're in lockstep on this, Schaefer. The thing that bothers us the most right now is the offense. I'm way more concerned about the
I've been
direction of the
welcoming
offense
people to this
than literally
part of the
anything
corner
else
for a
that's
long
going
time,
on
yeah.
right now. Anything else that's going on right now, they haven't been able to figure out offense in 3 years. They've hired a new offensive coordinator. It hasn't worked. They've done a bunch of different things. They're pushing and pulling. They got a different type of quarterback now. And like, I don't know where they're going. Lack of direction on offense is like my number one thing. So to Brian's first point, I'm right there with you on that one.
No, and I have been very, very critical of what they have done so far offensively with what they have done with Dana Holgerson. I feel like they'd probably be better off as an offense if they still had Raiola, but that's not like that's done.
Mm-hmm.
You got to move on from that. So I don't know what Tony Calandria is going to be, and I don't know what this offense is going to be. And so that's huge question marks that you really shouldn't have at this juncture because you should have some semblance of who you're going to be. But in the same way that Fred Hoiberg reinvented himself, could this have been the offense or the offseason where you bring in Rob Arich, who becomes your Nate Lenzer of sorts, and you bring in Dana Holgerson has a different cast to work with, and there's no Raiolas, and you've revamped your offensive line? Like, is there a way that this is the start of where things could go for Matt Rule? I think the answer is yes. I don't know that it's the most likely thing, but I think that has to at least be in the cards.
It's a possibility. I mean, Fred got really serious about
defense,
and about needing an identity, right? Like having that be the first thing.
They got serious about getting tough. I mean, Derek Walker and that team, you know, like you think about the emergence of Keisei Tominaga, and what's kind of funny about that is it started roughly around this time period, like early February of that year with
Greasel and
Walker.
Yeah.
And he goes off, and then he kind of becomes this sort of his own thing.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's fine, offense, defense,
right?
You know?
The toughness of that team is what sort of bred out everything that Nate Lenzer has brought since.
100%. And
it started there.
Started right there.
And they got tough, and they started playing like a Big Ten team, and they had an idea of what they wanted to defend like.
People listen to this, and they're like, okay, so what? We're going to be good in 3 years?
Well, I mean, they were good they went to the tournament the next year. They were a 24-win team the next year.
Right.
I mean, like it didn't, there's things that have to happen there, but yeah, I mean, they won 24 games, and the next year it wasn't as great. Part of that was just a massive losing streak right there. This sounds insane, but I could maybe present the argument that the depth of the Big Ten basketball is deeper than the middle of Big Ten football. So there's more. I think Nebraska football has a better chance of moving up to the middle than basketball certainly would.
Ooh.
Because obviously the highs of the Big Ten football is up there.
Yeah.
Clearly, we've got a T-shirt to prove it.
Yeah. Trifecta.
But I think the middle, like that's what Illinois has done. That's what Washington is doing.
Yeah.
There's no reason Nebraska can't do that.
Yeah.
I think it's much harder to do.
We look at those
Fred
teams
Hoiberg
every year.
done.
We're like, who's the first team to not make the playoff in the Big Ten in football? And it's like, I don't know if they're that good. Yeah. Maybe it'll just be Iowa again.
Right.
Right. So yeah, I can go along with that. All right. Let's take a break and hit Joey's headlines when we return. A word first from yes, the Omaha Supernovas. They're back on Thursday against Dallas. That is the 12th at CHI. Listen all week, next week, this and next week to Unsportsmanlike Conduct for a chance to win your way into the game. Once again, that's the Supernovas against the Dallas Pulse Thursday at 7 at CHI. 1620 The Zone's got you covered. We'll be back after this. Hey, so there's before we get to the headlines, there's talk of a Big Ten volleyball tournament beginning to sort of take shape. Sam McEwen writes in the World Herald today, he puts Omaha's name forth. He says, "Don't get cute, Big Ten. Put your league's volleyball tournament in Omaha first." Hell yeah. I want Omaha to host everything. Sports Hub Omaha. I like it. I've always thought Omaha
Would it be
a
like a preseason tournament?
No, a postseason conference tournament.
Oh.
Yeah.
In lieu of like, would they play less game? Like they play
I don't
all the
know
way
what-
up till the final week of the season.
I don't know how they would do it,
Yeah.
but yeah, there is talk of that event beginning.
And I guess they could just play it across 3 straight days.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't need to.
Yeah.
In theory, wouldn't
We do
need
club
to-
volleyball tournaments all the time. You know, they play like 100 games in a day or whatever it is. Yeah, you could definitely do
So
it.
the top 8 then, I guess.
Omaha would be a great. I don't know how it would work, but I'm just saying Omaha.
I'm
would
just
be,
throwing things at you that you have no way of knowing.
I know. I just wanted to talk about how Omaha was cool.
Would it still be rally scoring?
Yes, it would be. Of course, it would. Be.
I want side outs back.
It would be the same exact thing as it always is. Just a tournament. Damn it, Schaefer.
All right.
And in Omaha. That's what we want here. All right. Joey, what do we got for the headlines today?
Okay, this is recycled stuff that I found yesterday, so there's like few headlines I got in
Okay.
mind. I'll pick 2.
Throw 'em out there.
The first one is a 150-year-old bottle of alcohol found in Utah, tasted by experts.
Whoa. I'm kind of interested.
Yeah, I like this one.
We're
I
just
feel
going.
like Joey alternates between if the best story is at the second one. I'm gonna pick this. We're picking it.
InstaClick.
Okay.
It's the click.
InstaClick.
So an archaeological team in Utah exhumed a bottle of alcohol estimated to be 150 years old, and experts gave it a taste test. Ian Wright, Utah's state public archaeologist, said the bottle was among thousands of artifacts dating back to approximately 1870 to 1890 found on U.S. Forest Service land used by
I don't
Alta
think
Ski
you can-
Resort.
So what was it? What was in the bottle? What kind of alcohol was it?
Trying to see.
Real quickly, a source of contention here. You can't say approximately and then give a 20-year range.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
You could say around 1870 to 1890, but if you're saying approximately, it probably needs to be a much smaller than 20-year range.
Let's see.
I'll take that complaint elsewhere.
Intact alcohol bottles from that era are rarely found in Utah. He said the discovery raised questions about what that bottle might contain. We thought, hey, let's take it to the experts and see what we could find out what was in it or what is in it. And so they brought it to a distillery to open it. The head of distilling at this place said the bottle was in reasonably good shape, I would say, after sitting for 150 years. Before opening it, the team examined the bottle's appearance and noted that the cork emitted a slightly vinegary smell. The team carefully examined the liquid's appearance in color before opening it up. Finding that the cork had a very slight vinegary smell, they began extracting the liquid to determine the type of alcohol. Quote, we weren't sure if it was clear spirit, if it was aged spirit, if it was beer, if it was wine, if it was champagne. And so they did not come to a conclusion. It's fruity. There's a little bit of leather. There's quite a bit of age on it. Yeah, it's 150 years old. It's been sitting in Utah,
It's
just
old.
sitting there. The very bottom of the bottle was sort of turbid. It was sort of milky, he said. The team planned further
Things I don't want to hear about
analysis.
stuff I'm drinking. Turbid and milky.
What in the world? It didn't smell like gasoline. It didn't smell like tobacco spit. And it is inconclusive, apparently, on what the actual bottle was. Wow. A cliffhanger headline.
Yeah, that's a little unfulfilling, but still pretty cool.
Yeah. I'd like to find a 150-year-old bottle of alcohol.
What do you think the oldest alcohol you've ever experienced is?
Great question.
I would
Like-
probably say a wine.
Yeah, but how many years?
Yeah, I haven't had that.
I haven't had a vintage wine.
Yeah, I haven't had that high class of wine.
I mean, I've had like a 2011 and 2025. I don't
Yeah.
know that counts for much.
It's got to be like a Well, when they say that the spirits, like the whiskey or the bourbon, is aged
barrel
whatever year,
aged for
is it
so
is it
long.
actually that? Is it?
I take them at their word.
I feel like that's a lie sometimes.
We need an alcohol expert now.
We need a sommelier. We should have a sommelier day on the show, or sommelier, whatever you say.
We need to have. I can't think of his first name. Meyer.
Kevin.
Kevin should we? This is a question for Kevin.
Great question. He would know the answer to, are the whiskey people lying to us?
And he would tell us. We trust Kevin.
We do. Sean writes in on the text line, what if it was a bottle of pee? Would be funny.
It would
They're
be
going to spend a lot of
aged.
time testing this bottle
Turbid.
of pee. It was turbid and milky. That's disgusting. So there you go. We get to ask questions about what the alcohol industry is telling us on this show. Thank you for the headline, Joey.
Good work, Joey.
We will come back the 8:00 hour. We'll talk about the Super Bowl coming up on 1620 The Zone. The Olympics roll on. Live sports here on Happer and Schaefer, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. We are not disseminating curling at the Milano Cortina Olympics 2026. Opening ceremonies are tonight. We'll talk about that and what to expect a little bit later on in the show. But as you know, there's a big, is the Super Bowl bigger than the Olympics?
Yeah, the Super Bowl is the most watched thing. I mean,
Yeah.
yes.
But the Olympics is more historic.
Sure, it's more historic.
And
It's a worldwide event.
and it happens every
It's
4
a-
years.
it's a
and
worldwide
all of
event.
these things. I would say
the Super Bowl is the most watched sport in America.
Right. I think it's among the most watched sporting events in the world.
I mean, it would have to be.
So-
I'm sure.
I would probably say the Super Bowl is bigger. Now that would you rather have a
It is
Super
a
Bowl
very
ring
dumb debate.
or a Olympic gold medal?
Whoa. Olympic gold medal would be pretty cool.
That's a great dumb debate.
Super Bowl rings. I mean, there's so many people who got them.
Sure.
I guess there's a lot of people who got.
I mean,
Olympic
football-
gold medals.
right, yeah.
I mean, to look at it this way, football's popular in one country, the Olympics. It's a worldwide event, and getting a gold medal in that selected sport is
There is more.
Very-
Like
Okay, so
there's
think about
like
it
a
this way.
prestige. Like you automatically get this sort of like regality.
They will
when you
add
get
flag
an
football,
Olympic
too.
gold medal.
I think about it like this. You're at a bar and someone walks in and they are a gold medal winner in curling. You're at a bar, someone walks in and they were a Super Bowl champion in Super Bowl 47.
Okay.
Whatever Super Bowl that is.
Okay.
Which one are you more likely to go talk to?
Probably the curling guy.
I think it would be the
I
curling.
think
guy.
the curling guy. Super Bowl 47 was the Ravens Niners power outage
incredible.
game.
power.
Okay.
That was fun.
You get it's not Joe Flacco. You get
No.
Jacoby Jones comes in the bar.
I would want to talk
Ray
to
Lewis
Jacoby
is on that team.
Jones, probably.
Ray Lewis does not come into the bar. Nobody's concerned
I
for
would,
their safety.
I would want to talk to Jacoby Jones, probably.
Yeah.
But I do really like the bearded, heavy curling guys. Yeah, I like those guys. So I don't know. But the Olympics are here, and we're watching curling right
Oh
now.
yeah, and this isn't
USA is wrecking the Czech Republic.
I don't know. I'm torn between my own hypothetical here. I'm not sure. I've met each,
Don't get stuck on them too much.
but
You've
yeah,
met a Super Bowl champion and an Olympian.
yes. The Olympian would be Kurt Tomasevich from
Good one.
Shelby,
Good one.
who won in luge, I believe.
That sounds right.
And then I know I've met a Super Bowl champion, and now I'm blanking. on
Must
it,
have
but-
met some Super Bowl champion along the line.
Yeah, I'm sure they're in there somewhere.
Well, Nebraska had a long Super Bowl streak that has recently been ended. That, I'm sure somebody came out of that, a Super Bowl champion. Ryan Delaware says, I'd rather win a Super Bowl because I could sell it for more money than a gold medal. Is that true? I don't know. I don't even know if that's true.
I think we're gonna have to dial up Pawn Stars and see what they're offering.
Yeah, like what would you want?
It 100% depends on what the ring. Like, so if the
Yes,
ring is your
Rick-
team manager,
Rick would say, I like
He'll give you a
Jacoby
low
Jones
ball.
is selling
it's a
you
gold
ring.
medal and that's cool, but I just don't. What did you get it for?
Let me
Being the ball
call.
boy.
Let me call in an expert and see if this is legitimate.
Yeah, I got a guy.
And Mark
I-
comes from the
Can-
Clark County Historical Society with his hat. And his
the beard of knowledge.
I used to really like
This
that
looks
show.
genuine.
I-
Just
I used to really like that show, and then it got so bad I couldn't watch it anymore.
I know. This is the
that was
same
kind of a
thing
Wednesday
every
thing
show.
for me. Just whenever I was bored during the day, I'll just throw that on, see the cool things that are on the
Oh,
television, and then watch them lowball the offer.
Right,
I'm like,
yeah.
don't take it. Take
When
it
you talk
somewhere
about
else.
Old Man Richard, like I'm thinking about Old Man Richard from that show more than I'm thinking about your special teams.
You
coach
think
over
more
there.
about Rick Harrison or the Rick Harrison's dad?
Rick Harrison's
the
dad.
old man.
the old man.
He died, right?
Yeah, he did.
He
He did.
passed, yeah.
He died. Sad. All right. Sorry to end that conversation on a sour note. The Super Bowl is coming up. Okay, so we have some general discussion. We'll make some picks. We have some props a little bit later on in the show as we as we end it. But I guess, what do you, Schaefer, what are you most looking forward to as far as this actual football matchup is concerned? Or are you the type of guy, I know you're not, so I'm just asking this rhetorically, or are you the type of guy who wants to watch the Super Bowl and is excited for all the other stuff that surrounds it, like the halftime
I'm
show?
excited for the football in the football game.
I figured.
A lot of it for me is I want to see, it's a huge measuring stick. Obviously, it's the Super Bowl, but like the Patriots have not played anyone near this good. Like the closest would be the Broncos with Jarrett Stidham at quarterback, and they won that game 10-7 in a freak snowstorm at the end of it. But even before the snowstorm had come in, they weren't doing anything in that game.
Yep.
And so I'm fascinated because they've had a couple weeks. We both, I think very highly of Mike Vrabel. And so
We do.
they'll have a great game plan, I'm sure. But will it be enough against a team in Seattle that I think is just better, like as a team overall? Like I think the Patriots, I think Drake May's a better quarterback than Sam Darnold. I don't have a problem saying that.
Interesting.
But from a team context, the Seahawks are just deeper. I'm excited to see what ridiculous catch Jackson Smith-Njigba makes.
It's going to be great. He is the best player in the game.
100%.
There's no he is one of, if not the best receiver in the
100%.
NFL. He is the player to watch in the game.
Yep. He is incredible. And so there's that aspect of it. Obviously, I really like Sam Darnold, so I hope that it goes well for him.
Narratives.
So there's that. I like Stephon Diggs. I hope it goes well for him. I don't know if I should like Stephon Diggs currently. It's a little bit harder to say that.
He's always up to something.
It's a win-win for you, Mike. A former Viking's going to win the Super Bowl.
They both wear number 14 too.
No, Diggs doesn't anymore.
Oh,
Diggs
well, they
is-
did in Minnesota,
Yeah,
I think is what it was.
Diggs is 8 now.
Yeah.
I think.
There's somebody that like had a picture and it was like a custom like Vikings number 14, and on the back is just like Super Bowl.
You get
It's like
Super Bowl champion.
Like the joke was the
2026.
closest that they're gonna get.
Yeah, pretty good.
So
Okay. So I have a question about New. I agree with what you said about Seattle just feeling like the better team, but with that comes this kind of underestimation of New England, even more so than it was the regular season. There was a lot of people, including myself, who weren't buying in on them. And now you have had those thoughts doubled down on and confirmed in the playoffs because of their lackluster playoff numbers so far. Their offense has been terrible. However, we conveniently forget that they played in 2 blizzards in their 3 games to get here. And their other one was against a great defense in the Chargers.
well, and they played 3 great defenses on their path here.
Right. And
So
2
that's
blizzards.
part of it.
They played 3 great
Right.
defenses and 2 blizzards.
I don't know if the second one was a blizzard so much as like really tough weather to play football in.
You were talking about the Houston game?
Yeah, wasn't it more like wet than it was like
Wasn't it snowing
No,
at the end?
I don't know. Well, maybe at the end it was.
Yeah.
I just remember it was like freezing rain more than it was like.
Yeah, it was a wet.
It was
game.
bad.
Yeah.
There was some very,
That's
very
not
bad quarterback
that's not
play.
to minimize the fact that they played in the weather. They absolutely did.
So I think there's a lot of people going into this who are like, I don't know, like they've kind of just skated by and they're here because they got some great matchups and all these different things. I think that is selling New England short. They have become one of the teams this year who I always appreciate in the sense that it feels like they have a really good understanding of how to win and how to win their way. With that being said, if you look at it from like a statistical standpoint, Seattle's defense is really, really good on all levels. New England has not run the ball really at all very well, all year. And so they'll have to pull some tricks out of their bag. But I do feel like there is an underselling here of the Patriots, which is hard for me to say out loud, but I do think kind of is the truth going into this game.
Yeah, it's very possible. Because I think people feel like they're there maybe a year earlier than they should be. There's the context of that. I felt like the Broncos outplayed them, but did not win last weekend because they couldn't score the points. And Jarrett Stidham was their quarterback.
You have to
Not
score
last
the
weekend,
points.
2 weekends. And so there's that. I look at it like the Seahawks again, like the Patriots are getting credit and deserve it for beating the Chargers and the Texans and the Broncos on their way to getting to the Super Bowl. The Seahawks last like 8 games have all been against teams that are 8 wins or
They're
better.
so good.
And in some of them, they just absolutely thrashed them. In others of them, they gutted out that win against the Colts that was way more difficult than you would have thought it should have been against Phil Rivers.
You could argue that their toughest team, the toughest team that they played and they beat twice in that time frame that you just mentioned was the Rams. And in both games, they kind of stepped all over themselves, right? Like now, credit to Seattle, you have to be the team who doesn't step all over yourself in those games.
I think Seattle's beat them in the NFC Championship. Now, the Rams had that fumble, but like that's, you could argue Seattle, if they don't have the really idiotic taunting penalty, we're not even talking about it as a close game.
That was funny.
So there's, that I think this is, again, it's confirmation bias because I've been here since September, but I think Seattle proved to me and should have proved to everybody else they're the best team in the NFL in that win against the Rams.
Okay, so you mentioned we asked the question, or we didn't ask the question yet, but you talked about the answer. Who has the quarterback edge?
I think the quarterback edge is New England with I think Drake May is better.
Okay. Who has the coaching edge?
That one's tough. I mean, I think Mike Vrabel is a top 5 NFL coach, and I thought when he got fired, he was a top 5 NFL coach.
And he is the type of guy who's been around long enough and has seen enough things. I think he's going to have something in his back pocket for this. Like I think there's
the surprise onside kick,
something more creative than that. But yes,
a fake punt formation,
something weird, something crazy at the right time. I think he understands his team. Like they definitely have taken on the personality of him, right? Like if you're talking about a team who has less wild swings than anybody, like consistently they are what they are, that is New England. And I think that works to their advantage in the Super Bowl in particular, because there's a lot to handle. There's emotions to handle, and experience is a factor. Like, so I give it to Vrabel there. The question is that enough to make up the difference
and
in the game where Seattle, I think, is the better team?
And I think like you might push back on this because of who's at quarterback. I think Seattle has found a blueprint to minimize their concerns with Darnold. And they obviously against the Rams just turned him loose and he threw for 356 yards and 3 touchdowns.
He had a great game.
And he's healthy. So there's that. But even when he hadn't been playing great, like they have a blueprint for how they want to play these things. And even with everything that Vrabel might be able to do from a, coaching perspective to give the Patriots a leg up, is that going to be enough? I mean, you asked that question.
I'm not sure.
I don't think that
sure.
it is.
Yeah.
Like, I think Seattle's that much better. And that's not to take away from the Patriots, who have been very, very good. But I think the Seahawks are just a better team. And I don't think it's going to come down to, I don't see it where the difference in the coaching is enough to get the Patriots by the Seahawks, because I don't think Mike McDonald is going to do enough bad that would
they'd have to
derail. I don't see Seattle getting derailed.
Now that's where you bring in the Darnold conversation. Yeah. Like, could we get a bad Darnold? And that is very possible.
Could we get a bad Darnold?
Could we get a bad Darnold? We got a very good Darnold 2 weeks ago. Very good. Bad Darnold is in there somewhere.
He is.
And we'll see in the prop bets a little bit later on that I think there's an opportunity for you to cash in on some bad Darnold in this game.
I think you're going to get a good Sam Darnold. And America is going to have to, just like it did with Joe Flacco, ask itself the question, do I have to view this guy differently?
Okay.
And then ultimately the answer is no. You can still view him
view him however you want.
View him as a good quarterback on a great team. Like that's all you have to do with Sam Darnold. You don't have to put him in your top 5. You don't have to put him in your top 10 if you don't want.
So we'll make our picks a little bit later on in the show as we finish things out. I have one more Super Bowl question for you this segment, Schaefer. What are you doing? What's on your plate? What's it looking like?
We like I said, I used to have a Super Bowl party here in Omaha that I would attend every year, and then they have stopped doing it.
Defunct Super Bowl party.
I think I'm ending with some of Shelby's family is getting together. I think that's our plan. I think we're making pigs in a blanket is what we're bringing.
Those are good.
That's a specialty.
With a child, it's difficult.
I know.
We're probably there until the third quarter, and then it's like you need to need to find the right time to leave. and
Last year
which-
was my first Super Bowl with my child,
Yeah.
and we stayed at home for the first time in a long time. It was just very quiet, and I kind of really enjoyed that,
Yeah.
to be honest with you. But I think we're gonna try and go somewhere and to a friend's house and like we'll try. I
So-
think this is gonna be like a drive separate situation, and like the girls are out at halftime or something like that.
Amazing. The motion is what makes it.
Yeah, peace out.
Gone. They're gone.
But
no,
excited to eat some chicken wings or something.
It's definitely different. This will be the third one with having a son. The first one, the day he came from the hospital, was the same day as Chiefs 49ers.
Whoa.
And so, like, he comes home from the hospital, and within the first couple hours we're home, Nebraska knocks off Iowa and Caitlin Clark at home.
Oh, I was there that day.
Yeah. And then later that night, well, he's sleeping
That's not Big Ten protocol.
he's sleeping in his bassinet, and I'm wondering how in the hell I'm in now basically functionally in charge of a child.
Yeah, very weird.
Kansas
Also, you were
City,
probably, my guess would be you were sweating out bets on San Francisco.
no, I don't have any.
Really?
No bets at all in that Super Bowl.
I was heavy on San Francisco, and I was like,
I
so
would have
close.
went with the Chiefs on that.
I was so close to cashing in like 40 things. If only Garoppolo would have hit.
Would have been Garoppolo. It would have been Purdy that year.
Oh,
You're thinking
I'm
now,
thinking
the
Chiefs
first,
Niners
the first
part two,
Chiefs,
part
yeah,
one. Yeah,
first Chiefs 49ers. I got wiped out because I had a bunch of 49ers.
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
And then I had I had a bunch of money on effectively
Oh yeah, you're right. Well, I don't know what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Debo Samuel to throw a pass in that game, and they ran that play.
Look
and,
forward to your prop
like,
bets later. Schaefer.
I'm at this, I'm at this Super Bowl party, and some people are paying attention, most people aren't, and I see this play happening, and I'm in the back over by the snacks because of course I am. And you can just hear me like, he's gonna pass, and then he runs out of bounds, and I'm like, no! Everybody looks at me. Most of my money was on that over 2.5 players attempt to pass in the Super Bowl.
You love that bet.
It's a great bet.
You love that bet. I wonder if we'll hear about that a little bit more.
I went a different
later
route,
on.
but a similar route.
Yeah, I would have cashed in on like several different things if Garoppolo would have hit. I think it's Emmanuel Sanders or something like that. On a deep ball. I'm like, oh my god.
I forgot about Emmanuel Sanders is on
Yeah.
that Chiefs team.
Yeah.
Or
But-
not Chiefs.
So I was thinking
the
about
49ers
Chiefs
team.
Niners part one.
No,
Chiefs,
this is the one that went to overtime.
yeah, Chiefs Niners part two was
It's a great game.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is the first day I'm at home with my kid, and it's Super Bowl Sunday. Like, it's wild.
very weird. Very, very weird. All right. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk about the hoops coming up this weekend. Fred Hoiberg talked yesterday as Nebraska heads out to the rack. Back after this on 1620 The Zone. Another debate emerges during the break. What was the original sport? Running or fighting? I'm sure there's a way to actually Google this.
I'm going to Google it.
I'm sure there's a way to actually know the answer to this. But I just figured like running, is just an easier thing to learn.
I answered this in the break when you said it. While it's impossible to pinpoint a single first sport, wrestling is widely considered the oldest, with cave paintings from 15,000 to 20,000 years ago showing wrestlers alongside early evidence of running, swimming, and archery.
I'm just trying to put in I'm just trying to think about like what is the easier thing to do like as a human being?
Yeah.
Fight another person, wrestle another person, whatever, fight another person, or race another person.
It's funny because
with your feet.
In that context, I put it in like your body response, and there's two responses to any conflict:
fight or flight.
Fight or flight. And so it's kind of amazing.
Wow.
In a way.
Wow. It all makes sense now.
So when you asked this, I said wrestling, and you're like fighting, and I was like, yeah. So I think that's probably the correct one.
Okay.
But it's impossible to know if wrestling came before the first time two people walking were like, hey, who can get here faster?
I know. Yeah, that's what I would have said if I didn't have any technology.
They probably bickered about it verbally and then started assaulting each other in wrestling. And then when the guy won, he ran away. And so that's why wrestling.
So it all happened at once. Yeah. Yes. All right. Tomorrow we have Nebraska ball back. I've missed them this week, and we haven't had as much basketball to talk about.
Yeah, I watched Iowa Washington in lieu of having a midweek game.
Yeah.
It was actually very good for about 35 minutes.
And I am appreciative that you have become
I
somewhat
feel
of a
like
basketball
this job is going to have me watching way more college
You were
basketball.
texting me during the Creighton game, and you were saying takes.
I'll be watching Creighton because we're going to be talking about it.
This I know, and I appreciate
the big winner in this is my wife, who was relegated to watching Creighton in areas of the house I was not in. Or I just left the area to go somewhere else that Creighton wasn't being shown.
And now she gets to be with you.
I guess.
And while you're texting me all your takes.
I did have takes.
about
the
poor basketball.
I still want to know if there's like a call from the game on when they played Wednesday. They played Wednesday.
Yeah.
If there's a call from when Owen Freeman's on kind of a fast break and he ends up dribbling it off of his knee out of bounds. And it felt like very fitting for the season.
My favorite one was when Swartz, it was a 3-on-1 fast, like this is easy opportunity. And Swartz has the ball and he's got Green and I think Fedor, like they're just right there. They're right at the basket. And Swartz decided that he was going to go up for a contested left-handed layup, miss. And then, I think the ball went out of bounds after that. I'm like, oh my God. This is what happens when you're having a really, really bad season.
Well, and it feels like they have a really tough time closing out halves. And that first half, like Georgetown had a bit of a run at the end of it, just like UConn did, just like Marquette did. That's been an issue. Like getting to halftime has been an issue. And then actually, weirdly, at the end of the game, Georgetown was doing everything they could to allow Creighton to stay in that game inexplicably.
Mm-hmm.
And Creighton
almost did.
They hung around a lot. Like I was like, oh, wow, are we going to watch some kind of epic comeback here? And then Happer's going to spend the whole first hour just breaking down the last 2 minutes. And
it would have been great.
How Ed Cooley
and a lot from John.
Georgetown managed to blow like a 12-point lead in 90 seconds.
Mm-hmm. And he probably would have thrown another water bottle at a child.
Someone was getting something chucked at him if they lost that game.
That's true. By the way, quick hot, potential hot take on Creighton before we talk about Nebraska. I kind of think they're going to win tomorrow. I kind of think Creighton's going to beat Seton Hall tomorrow. I just got this weird feeling down in my plums. I don't know. I feel like they stink up. They being Seton Hall stinks offensively. They were one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the country. They're actually one of the worst 2-point shooting teams in the country too, even though that's how they get all their points because they're like their whole thing is we're going to run over you like football is an Oklahoma, like basketball is an Oklahoma drill. and just cross our fingers that it doesn't get called. And like trade 2s for 3s or whatever it is. Like, I don't know. I kind of think Creighton's in a decent spot for a bounce back opportunity.
And this game is there, right?
No, it's here.
It's here.
They've had bad.
They played there and they lost 50. That was the game that they gave away.
It's horrible.
Yeah, they were up by 16 in the second half, and Seton Hall had that big comeback.
It was bad.
And I guess there was some officiating at the very end. I totally forgot.
There was some officiating at the very end. Poor officiating, but officiating after all. Yes, as you remember from last time, they're a pretty offensively challenged team. I don't know. Creighton's just like they've had a long week or so, week plus here. I just kind of feel like they're due for a nice offensive day.
That's the
take.
thing. If they shoot like 47-50%, I think they could be okay. They just haven't shot well. I mean, at one point in that game on Wednesday, they were 1 of 14 from 3-pointer.
I think that was it.
And
point,
the one was like Hudson Greer had like a nice, it was like a nice probably 5-minute stretch where we were texting about it.
I mean, more Hudson Greer.
Yeah,
I think that was one of our takes.
They've got to shoot better. There's no question about that if they're going to win.
I would appreciate just like knocking. I don't think it would knock them off the bubble, but like this is how much I don't care about conference cheering. I don't need Seton Hall in the NCAA tournament. Nobody needs Seton Hall in the NCAA tournament. I know that they're on the bubble and the Big East will try to prop them up because of whatever, but that team is not good. That team is not good, and we don't need them in the NCAA tournament fouling and trying to run over people the entire time. I don't want to watch that.
I was texting with Severe because he's like, have you looked at the Big East standings? And I was like, I haven't. He's like, Creighton will finish 5th by doing very little because the rest of the conference is that bad.
It's rough.
And I went and looked. Oh, my God.
At the same time, Creighton lost to Marquette by 30.
So, I get it. But his point was because he's like, they're going to be the team that they'll have an opportunity to go to the crown because 2 teams, assuming 3 teams get into the NCAA tournament, your 4 or 5 could go to the crown. And I was like, I don't know that they're going to win enough games. Like they only really need to win 3 to lock in the 5th spot in that conference right now. And I went and looked at it. And it's like, oh my God, like it's really bad.
They're like all 50-50 games because that's just where they're at right now.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I just got to like text from the 402 writes in that weird feeling must be constipation because you're full of it. If you think they're going to beat Seton Hall. We'll see. I mean, bookmark this. If they
there's no line yet, probably. Right?
No, but I could check what
the advanced line would be.
Ken Palm's got going here. They
what
are
does
saying
Ken Palm think that Creighton's final record is going to be?
Ken Palm thinks that Creighton's going to beat Seton Hall by 1, and Ken Palm thinks that Creighton's going to go 15-16.
Yikes!
Oof. Oh
and
boy.
9-11 in the league.
So that's a lot of road losses, basically.
4 straight from they play Villanova, UConn, St. John's in a row. So you're going to have to budget some more wins in other places. But I kind of think they get this one tomorrow. Just weird. It's just If it comes back, you can put this on the internet and say, "Do you really think that, Happer? What do you think now? Do you think they're going to be like?" I just don't think Seton Hall's very good.
What does Beef Man think?
Beef Man is probably.
What does Beef Man get for concessions at a Creighton game?
Meat. Is there any other option?
I don't know what they sell.
They have like pizza.
He just gets a bunch of chicken strips.
Yeah, chicken strips would probably be okay for Meat Man.
So it's the most meat-driven vehicle for him.
Probably that you could just buy. I mean, I would like nachos with beef there on it with no chips and no cheese.
Probably get the pulled pork or brisket.
Brisket.
No bun. And then he wants his money back because he's not paying for the bun.
Yes.
So he wants a discount on only paying for the meat.
Yeah. Now, counterpoint here from Mike, who says Seton Hall will out-rebound Creighton by 70. That might be true. That would throw off your whole trading 2s for 3s thing. I don't know. Let's just go with it. Creighton wins tomorrow. Nebraska basketball back on the road against Rutgers, back in action. Fred Hoiberg and Rick Mast spoke yesterday, and Rick Mast didn't puke all over everybody, which is great.
That is great. He told the media yesterday that he threw up 15 times the night before the Michigan game. And so naturally, Connor, have you ever thrown up 15 times?
I don't. don't think I reached those kind of numbers. I think like probably 7 max.
I have definitely had. I don't know that it was 15.
15 is
at
so
some point
many.
you lose the ability to count
Yeah.
because you're so delirious.
Well, I would think that you lose the ability to actually throw up.
Well, yeah, you're throwing up bile. You're throwing up stomach. Just like it's horrifying when you get to that.
Gross.
Your
eyes
entire
are watering.
the entire operation is just in pain as it's coming out of your throat.
And your body, like the insides are trying to leave.
Yeah, basically.
Disgusting. I would say probably like a maximum of 7 times.
It's also sort of, again, might explain how he ended up with extreme dehydration in the hospital, why he probably didn't play at his best against Illinois, though he hadn't played great, as we've discussed prior. And Rink Mast was a central part of that, not just because he was there for the press conference, but, they talked, they got to get him going. Like, this is someone they want to get back playing at a high level. And, the week off, I think, really helpful. Jamarcus Lawrence dealing with something. We've seen him kind of grab at his quad various times.
Occasionally, yeah.
And then I know Sam Hoiberg had got banged up in the Washington game. It's just a reminder, like, you play these 2 games and it's basketball, but it's physical and, landing wrong or taking a knee to the wrong part of your leg or whatever it is, like getting the extra rest here, then being able to go onto the road, go play Rutgers, which is going to be another physical game. I mean, I just think that break came at the exact right time for Nebraska coming off of those 2 games.
Yeah, and they'll have to get themselves back, sort of into things quickly. They're expecting a very good crowd at the rack tomorrow. It's an early tip off,
an anime crowd.
Body clock, will be an hour earlier. So
I assume they're on their way here in a little bit to head out there.
Probably practice this morning or this afternoon, and then see you later out to Jersey. But no, I mean, I think this will. There's no real. I've heard people refer to it as a get right game this weekend. Like, I don't think that really exists
in basketball,
especially on the road. I don't think that exists. But it's probably as close as you're going to get to that for a road game. I mean, the bottom of this league, we were just talking about the Big East and how bad it is, especially at the bottom. The bottom of this league really sucks too.
The Maryland Penn State faction of it, yeah.
Oregon is horrific.
Yep, not great.
And Rutgers is really bad too.
Yeah, see, Rutgers though, like they should have beaten Michigan State the other day. Like they're capable of rising up. And Penn State had Michigan beat until they didn't.
I go back to remember when Fanta was on with us a couple weeks ago, and he was like, "I don't know if it's the worst thing in the world to have the bottom of your league be just like absolutely horrific." I think it's a really astute point, because it helps out the middle of the league get some kind of free wins.
Well, so it's
and then at the
teams,
top of the
right?
league is going to have a hard time, tripping up.
It's 18 teams, and so if we just go right off the top for sure, Maryland, terrible.
Awful.
Penn State, terrible.
Awful.
Oregon, terrible.
Awful.
Rutgers, I don't know if I would say terrible, but for the sake of this exercise, we'll say terrible. So that's 4. And then you have 4 teams that are like middling in Minnesota, Northwestern, Washington. And I would say Washington's kind of dangerous. Like that's not a fun matchup.
Clearly Minnesota can get you too.
Right. And so
that's the hard line. Like you have 4 teams that are just ass.
Yep.
And you know what? Let's say 5. Northwestern is also ass.
They look bad.
Okay. So
I'm fine with that.
5 ass. Like, and then the middle,
the starting 5 ass.
The middle is the middle, which includes everybody else that is not named Nebraska, Michigan, Illinois, Purdue, and Michigan State.
Can you keep Wisconsin out of that? They have the one win against Michigan.
But if we're including Wisconsin, then we probably have to include UCLA.
Yeah, and I don't want to include UCLA.
Right,
so we're taking them both out.
So the
I'd say Purdue.
Top 5, bottom 5.
Here's what I think is going to happen. I think Purdue is going to move past Michigan State. I think Michigan State is going to slide down to where Wisconsin and UCLA are at. And I think your top 4 and Nebraska is largely going to be fighting to hold on to spot 3 or 4. Like that's how I feel like this is going to play out. I think 1 and 2 are going to be Michigan and Illinois.
Illinois, do you know what? I mean, they have a really difficult schedule.
Brutal.
Over the next.
That's
2
why
weeks.
if Nebraska had won that game, Illinois would have been in a really precarious spot.
Yeah.
And Nebraska would have been in a super advantageous spot. But Nebraska didn't. Illinois did. And then Illinois looks like one of the, 3 best teams in basketball right now?
I would say so. Yeah.
Arizona, Illinois, and Duke. Is that a fair characterization?
They would be, if you had to pick a Big Ten representative,
I would take them over Michigan.
you'd pick Illinois.
But it's Michigan's like then the team sitting right outside of that at 4, and then probably UConn at 5. Is that fair?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
And then
know.
after that, I
still
think
don't know
there's
how good
probably a
UConn is.
delineation. What's up?
I'm still not exactly sure how top end good UConn is.
So then, okay, let's cut. So then, let's say those are your top 4 in the
I mean, they're really
country.
good. Just keep them.
Okay,
Sorry.
UConn's in at 5.
Big East honk.
And then
I have to honk.
And then you're getting into kind of the Houston. I would put Nebraska,
Iowa State.
It's got to be. I don't want to put Gonzaga in this after they just lost to
Florida.
Florida has been, and I think Kansas has been playing a lot better basketball lately too. So they probably deserve at least some kind of mention. You're into kind of that run.
God, I think I don't know. And you always give a little bit of a wink to the teams that you've seen in person. Iowa State is really good.
Yeah, and I haven't
State,
seen them obviously in person.
Iowa State is really, and I saw them without Lipsy, and Lipsy obviously changes the entire thing. But oh my gosh, I mean, the guy like Jefferson, he's got to be one of the best 3 players in the country.
Yeah.
I mean, so they have a point guard that could pick your pocket and dish out dimes like crazy, and then shooters everywhere. They're really good.
All of this to say, like
they might. I would love to see a game with them in Illinois.
yeah, well, you might. That
In
could
the-
be a regional final somewhere in Chicago.
the national championship game or something like that. Yeah,
I would be pretty impressed if both of those teams made it to the national championship
it would be impressive.
because it would mean that Arizona didn't.
Yeah.
It would mean that Michigan didn't.
But they're all in the same.
It would mean that Duke didn't.
Okay, so
Is Duke the toughest because the ACC is by far the worst of that kind of grouping?
yeah, maybe UConn too.
Yeah.
For
It's
the
hard
same
with that
reason.
because they're so much better than the rest of that conference.
Yeah. So okay, so do the same thing for the top of the country, right? Where do you draw the line?
Of the top teams?
Yes.
Well, I thought we did with the top 5. Like, and
so
then
Michigan, Arizona, Duke,
like if you're tiering it, my tier 1 would be those 5.
Michigan, Arizona, Duke, Illinois, and
UConn.
UConn. Okay. And
That's my tier 1.
see, but I think there's like 3 more teams that belong in that conversation.
Okay.
Not like based on resume, but based on their ability to
Sure.
like win.
But then wouldn't you just
championship.
put them at the top of tier 2 because their resume isn't quite to what the tier 1 resume is?
Maybe, but like Illinois has a worse resume than Iowa State right now.
Do they?
I mean, Illinois has one more loss.
Well, yeah, but they have the most quad 1 wins in the country. don't
Illinois
they?
Iowa State beat Purdue on the road. They beat Iowa at home, who's like a top 15 KenPom team right now.
Yep.
They lost to Kansas and they have a bad loss to Cincinnati. I guess Illinois doesn't have the bad loss.
I think
they beat Iowa State beat St. John's on a neutral court.
Okay.
Like
They crush that St. John's team on a neutral court? Wasn't it like a 15-point win?
No, it was a 1-point win.
Oh, I don't know what I'm thinking of then.
They obviously beat the living hell out of Creighton, but that doesn't
Maybe
really
that's the crush that I'm thinking
count
of.
for anything at this point. But yeah, no, I don't know why I'm caping up for Iowa State all of a sudden.
No, that's
but,
okay. So would you say Iowa State at 6 and then you cap the tier?
Maybe I would just put Iowa State in the mix without ranking them in the mix of the.
I
top
thought we were
tier.
tiering.
Yeah,
We didn't
do I have to
determine our
rank?
decision.
Do I have to rank them with tiers? Power rankings with tiers?
I think we probably need to.
Okay, then Iowa
Do we
State's
need to
probably
introduce
six.
power ranking with tiers for college basketball?
Great idea. Yes,
I think we are going to.
college basketball power rankings with tiers. People will get triggered because they will see that Nebraska is not in the top tier.
I think they're in the second tier, and they're going to be fighting to stay in the second tier. If you're someone who wants them to be in Oklahoma City, they have to be a top 3 seed, which means they have to be one of the 12 best teams in the country.
So Mike writes in on YouTube. He says the second tier is Houston, Iowa State, Nebraska, and Kansas. How do you feel about that? Houston, Iowa State, Nebraska, Kansas. In no particular order. after those first 5 we mentioned.
I feel like if you're including Kansas, you still have to then include Purdue and Michigan State. Like, I don't know that you can put Kansas in there without including those other 2 teams.
Okay.
So then that lengthens out that.
And then
tier.
then we haven't done Florida yet.
We haven't done Florida. You have Gonzaga, who has a loss to Portland.
Yep.
You know, it feels like that loss is going to be really damaging for them, though.
And what about Miami of Ohio?
Tier 6.
Yeah. Still undefeated, but tier 6.
Tier happy to be here, tier.
Miami of Ohio.
Happy to be tiered.
Had, I believe, one of the worst strength of schedules in the country. I mean, you know. But
do you think there's any
23-0
any radio show in Ohio that has spent as much time on Miami of Ohio?
We have
as
loved to talk about Miami of Ohio.
That isn't in the town that Miami of Ohio plays in, which is Miami. In Ohio.
I'm going to say no.
We have spent as much time. Maybe we should talk to the good people at Miami in Ohio if they would like to be city of the day.
Oh,
So they're actually
now
in,
we're talking.
they're actually in Oxford, Ohio. That's the town they're playing.
Oh,
there we go.
idiot, Schaefer!
Well, I didn't know. I just assumed Miami of Ohio.
How dare you assume like
So
that?
Oxford,
So
Ohio.
it's like I think it's northwest of where Dayton is at on the map.
They are 23-0, and 15 of their wins are quad 4 wins.
That's not good.
Nice job. Or 13. I'm sorry. 13 of their wins are quad 4 wins. All right, let's take a break. We will come back. Still plenty to address, including our Super Bowl prop bets and picks, all still to come on Happer and Schaefer on 1620 The Zone. But first, speaking of, let's have a word with Underdog. Football's biggest game is coming up, and you can get on all the action with Underdog right now in Nebraska. If you are not on Underdog, good, then you are in luck, because new customers score $75 in fantasy bonus entries when you make your first $5 fantasy entry. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just head to the app, make picks on if a player will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, rushing yards, receptions, and more. If you get those right, you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. And there's new promos dropping daily in the app, so you're going to want to check that out. What are you waiting for? Download the app today. Use promo code HAPPER1620 to score $75 in fantasy bonus entries when you play your first $5 on fantasy. That's promo code HAPPER1620. Underdog. Make picks. Win money. Must be 19 plus and present in Nebraska. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/playing good terms _DFS_.html for details. Concern with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.ncpgambling.org. All right, so on top of the Super Bowl being on Sunday, we also have the Winter Olympics, which Schaefer claims are the better of the Olympics.
Yeah, I would choose it over the summer.
I'm a Summer Olympics guy.
Well, yeah, because you like the basketball. You're probably into the track.
I'm into the track.
Big trampoline.
I love the
guy.
running.
I love the running. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a track. So for me, it's just track does nothing for me. Like I can watch the sprinters or whatever. When I was a kid, Michael Johnson in '96 was outstanding to witness and
I
watch.
will say that the skiing is pretty cool. Lindsey
To
Vonn.
me, it's the visual appeal of the Winter Olympics is substantially better.
Okay.
I also weirdly really like speed skating.
That's a great
That's
sport.
a fun watch.
Yeah, it was Apollo Anton Ono was
Yes.
just incredible
Yeah.
for those years. And then you'd have like Sean Davis and various people like that. Speed skating, like I really enjoyed. It was on like the Nashville network when I was growing up. There was a show called Roller Jam that was like a
Hell yeah.
fictitious roller derby television show.
Nice.
And I just loved the concept of that. That's essentially speed skating, except they do it for real and they're doing it on ice. And I love it.
That sounds intriguing.
It's I'm a big speed skating guy. The luge, the bobsledding, all of it. I mean, it's fantastic.
We get to watch Lindsey Vonn ski on a torn
ACL-less,
ACL.
yeah, Lindsay, not ACL-less, but down an ACL, I guess.
Crazy. It's ridiculous. I can't believe she's doing that.
I mean,
then-
Phillip Rivers played the AFC title game with a torn ACL against Tom Brady in 07.
That is true. But did he downhill ski?
Did he win?
No, they lost 21-11.
Then that means nothing. No. The other thing of this, and this is probably more of a me thing. I don't care about the Olympic basketball because it's rarely ever that interesting because the United States has been so much better. To the point
That is not
when-
true anymore.
When they dropped off,
They dropped off when they did not play Jason Tatum, Steve Kerr.
there you go.
Celtics honk.
I find it so much more enjoyable watching the United States attempt to go up against global powers of hockey than I do of watching the United States global power of basketball attempt not to fight itself while trying to win the medals.
Yeah, but even when they're just messing around and they're beating some whack country by like
I
40, it's the greatest basketball players in the world just messing around.
I just
I'll
doesn't
watch
have that
that.
same like.
Now
appeal
it's
to
more
me for some
competitive,
reason.
though, because
Oh, yeah.
you
They're
got
fighting
all,
each other.
you got all these international teams playing pretty good. You got Spain, you got
Well,
Remember when
the
Kobe-
global
remember-
development of basketball has improved the
Yeah,
quality of these games.
Remember when
Definitely.
Kobe ran through that screen on Pau Gasol?
I do remember.
Remember
That's
the
the
Vince
Olympics,
Carter
man.
It's
dunk?
not that I don't watch. It just isn't the same level of enjoyment. I will distinctly remember just being absolutely crushed when Sidney Crosby made that goal in 2010 because I was that into those Olympics and that particular hockey.
Schaefer likes skates. He'd be skating.
A lot of it is because it's just I can't do it. Like I'm never going to be able to go play hockey,
Texter writes in Schaefer's favorite movie is Cool Runnings. Is this
which I
true?
have actually seen, unlike Matt McMaster. But I
Is
wouldn't be able to
I don't
quote
think
it.
he had ever
unlike
heard
Matt
of
McMaster.
cool Runnings. I don't think. Did he? I don't think he had ever heard.
No, he knows the quote from from it.
It's bobsled time.
Yeah, but he'd never seen the movie.
Placat says on Twitter, speed skating is just ice track.
Except it's way cooler when you
Ice
say
running.
ice track.
You have blades on your feet.
Sounds amazing to me. Sign me up.
Um,
You know what they don't do when they're running on the track? Get like parallel to the ice at like an insane angle while turning.
that's true.
They don't do it.
I like the luge.
Luge is great.
I'll watch
yeah.
some luging.
No, it's not to say there isn't like I don't want to watch cross country skiing with the shooting. That's not my thing.
That is a funny sport.
It's funny, but it's boring on,
It is.
on television.
It
So
is.
it's not to say it's all perfect. The figure skating is good. Now, where the Summer Olympics shine, the swimming is fantastic because they figured out how to televise it in such a way that's amazing.
It looks great.
Yeah.
And the gymnastics, incredible.
So here's what you need to know today. The opening ceremony started at 1:00. You can watch it on Peacock. Here's some things you need to know. Mariah Carey will perform at the Olympic opening ceremonies.
Wow.
Mariah Carey is a 6-time Grammy Award winner and the member of the Songwriters Hall of Fame.
Why does it seem like they could have found someone more current than Mariah Carey?
Now, I don't know if they did here, but they have, in addition to Mariah Carey, Andrea Bocelli will perform. This is an Italian.
He's like an really good opera singer.
I believe that is right.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure on this. And then, so he will be there, and Chinese pianist Lang Lang and Italian actor Sabrina Impacciatore will also perform at the event. I'm looking forward to whatever they are going to do. And this is a historic Olympics. It is the 2026 Milan Cortina Olympics. You see Milan, it is the headline city, Milan Cortina. During the ceremony, Olympic torches will be used to light 2 separate Olympic cauldrons today. It is the first time that has ever happened in Olympic history. There will be 2 separate Olympic cauldrons. The lightings, which will take place simultaneously, will occur in 2 separate locations. One is located in Milan at the Arco della Pace. The second will be in Cortina at Dempezzo in Piazza de Bona. Have you heard of that before? Probably
I have not.
Olympic organizers decided on 2 cauldrons as a way to show harmony and unity between both host cities of the 2026 Olympics.
Wow.
2 cauldrons. Hopefully they could sync it up right.
That sounds like a Harry Potter book. Harry Potter and the 2 Cauldrons.
Harry Potter and the 2 Olympic cauldrons.
I mean, they're just they're playing Quidditch.
Yeah.
Would Harry Potter have won the gold medal in Quidditch?
Definitely. I mean, they were killing it.
For England, right?
Yeah, they were on fire. John writes in to your question, Schaefer, about why they couldn't have found someone other than Mariah Carey. John says because Bad Bunny is in Santa Clara.
I guess. Yeah.
Could have got Bad Bunny.
It just like Mariah Carey feels like a weird person for this.
I'm not sure why.
Andrea Bocelli does not. Like he did the national anthem for one of the Christmas games, I believe, here. I've heard the name. Like it's one of those where I normally know nothing about anything, but I know that name. I know who he is.
Did he do Porti Volare?
Without knowing what that is.
Portivo. That one? You've heard
Maybe.
that. You've heard that before. It's at the end of Step Brothers.
Oh, okay. I don't know if he did it.
I'm pretty sure it was that guy.
Oh, so he did the national anthem for the 2026 college football playoff national championship.
Whoa, that was like a week ago.
Yeah. I was like, I know he's done the national anthem recently. And I thought it was like a Christmas game.
All right,
on Netflix.
Let's there's your Olympic preview, Olympic opening ceremonies preview, by the way. We also have the waste management going on this weekend, which we could talk about in a second because I'm not a huge fan of drunken debauchery. But we'll be back after this on 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome back. Just past 9 o'clock on a Friday, Super Bowl Friday. Happer and Schaefer, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. You can head to 1620thezone.com, by the way, to get in on a variety of different things, including the Get Your Bleep Together 5K sweepstakes, which runs until February 24th. All of these concerts that you could win tickets to online, including Journey, George Thorogood and the Destroyers, Chris Stapleton, and the Post Malone concert in Ames in July. You could win tickets to any of those on just by entering on our website, 1620thezone.com. Could you imagine?
I can.
You
It's
can
just as simple as you have to just go sign up.
It
Literally
really-
that easy.
It really truly is. So go to 1620thezone.com to check out all of those things. So we'll have our Super Bowl, our last crack at Super Bowl bets and props. Yeah, we're going to be like every other sports show in America, and we're going to, throw out some stuff that we're maybe betting on, probably betting. I'd have to do some things first, but I think we're going to be putting our money where our mouth is a little bit. So stay tuned for that. We'll talk to Jake Sorensen here in a couple minutes. I wanted to draw your attention to a couple other things that we have going on this weekend. It's a busy weekend. We're jumping into the period of time in which, football will be over after Sunday night. We are jumping into a really fun part of the year, I think, which is random sports time. Random sports time starts really this weekend. And it will continue throughout the months of March, April, May, June, and July. And August as well.
So basically, random sports time is also known as the
Summer.
period of time between the end of the last football game of the year and the
first
beginning of the real football
game of the year.
in August.
Pretty much. That's what I call random sports time. I mean, random sports time really kicks in after the basketball national championship, because then you have the Masters is the next week and the Kentucky Derby is 2 weeks after that. And you get into all that stuff. But we have a little taste of it this weekend. If you're interested in getting into college basketball, and maybe you don't want to pick a side, either red or blue, that's okay. You could watch
What if you wanted to pick the red-black of UNO?
You could pick them. That's an option for you. Maybe you don't want to be a fan of any of the local teams. If you want to be a fan of, if you identify with a bunch of idiots yelling at each other, I would implore you to watch UConn and St. John's tonight from Madison Square Garden, featuring Gus Johnson and Jim Jackson. This is their prep for the Big East tournament. And here's what happens at St. John's fans think they are now God's gift to earth because they have Pitino. UConn fans have always felt that way. They feel as if they are at their rightful place at the top of college basketball. And UConn fans take over Madison Square Garden during the Big East tournament, and they would love to do it, of course, tonight at MSG as well. And so you'll just have this very, very funny, emotional cauldron of people thinking that they're the greatest thing that's ever happened to college basketball. And they'll play each other on the court. It's very, very exciting. And it's Madison Square Garden, the whole thing. It's great. And Gus Johnson, who has no idea what he's watching. Exactly. But he can't see. Gus Johnson will be standing right there. He won't be able to see the game.
Yeah. He generally hasn't stopped him from calling action before. He can just imagine.
No, it
what
hasn't.
he's saying.
It's made him do touchdown wows. Plenty of touchdown wows. So there you go. Prime time tonight, 7 o'clock, Big Fox, Gus Johnson, UConn fans probably taking over the building. Most of college basketball does not exist to people who are in these two fan bases. They just really like themselves.
How big is the St. John's fan base?
It's big when they're good.
It feels like it only exists when they have
it's big when
a
they're
relative reason to exist.
It was big last year when they were good, and then they hilariously lost in the second round. And it's big right now.
I'm trying to think of what else is kind of like that. where it just only pops up when they are, because there's certain fan bases where it's a lot louder when they're good, but they're still, like it was a lot louder for the Cubs in 2016, but those people exist even when
Yeah,
they're
no,
not
it's not
that
like
good.
that because it's mostly dormant when they're bad.
Right,
It
and
just
so I'm
doesn't
trying to think of-
exist.
trying to think of an example of that.
I don't know what the right comp would be. Like you just don't hear from them at all unless they're really good. And then when they're really good, they're very loud. Very loud.
Is Miami football almost in that
Ooh,
category?
Ooh, that's good.
Because like when they're, and I know people that I'm like Weekday Wade is a Miami football fan.
Weekday Wade is crazy. He is an enigma.
I'm toying with the idea of having Weekday Wade sit in for you. He used to do radio, like way back when.
I remember you saying that at one point. Yeah.
I'm toying with the idea of having Weekday Wade sit in for you for a summer show if you're ever gone.
God, that'd be amazing.
Just
I would love to listen to
largely
that.
because I have no idea where it would go.
Well, he has so many takes on so many different things.
Yes.
Yeah.
It would not, like, if someone's sitting in for you, I want them to have opinions, and that would not be a problem for Weekday Wade.
All right. I can't wait till July.
And it would be a weekday. It'd be great.
It would be a weekday. So from Debo writes in, it's the insufferable tonight. Yeah.
Okay, so
It
if
would
you
be
were
very insufferable.
ranking the fan bases of college basketball you like the least, is UConn at the top of that list?
I put Duke at the top. Or if it's Big East,
It could be any fan base.
yeah, I would say Duke.
I would lean more to like the Duke, the North Carolina, the Kansas, but I know a lot of people who are fine and they're Kansas fans.
Yeah, I do too.
There's a lot of people, a lot of really
But
annoying
that doesn't
Kansas-
mean there aren't a lot of people who aren't fine.
there's
that are
very
Kansas fans.
very annoying Kansas fans.
So
that's
like
for sure.
I love Nick Hanley, but I don't use that as my stand-in. For...
Is he an annoying Kansas fan?
No. He's not an annoying. Kansas
He's an
fan.
annoying Bears fan?
No, I'm just saying, like, he's someone that is a completely fine fan, but I don't use him as a representation as to why that fan base is
Got it.
not otherwise annoying.
Got it. So I would probably lean still toward them a little bit. UConn's just annoying that I don't know. They truly think they're God's gift to college basketball.
Yeah, that's fair.
Is it fair? I don't.
Well, no, it's
I don't think
fair
anybody
that
deserves
you would be
that.
annoyed by it,
Yeah, okay.
not that it's fair that they think
Are you
that.
well?
I don't have
Nebraska had a little dust up with UConn this week.
My opinion on UConn is almost exclusively like I kind of just don't like them because I didn't like Jim Calhoun.
Which is an appropriate person to
So,
not like. Yeah.
and then I had this like weird thought in the back of my head about how if UConn is a comparable to LSU in that they, regardless of who the coach is, because they're just sort of good, they're a threat to win the national title.
People forget they did win a national championship with Kevin Ollie.
And then now it's like, oh God, does that mean?
But then they were terrible.
Sure.
Then they were terrible.
But then does that mean like Lane Kiffin could be the Dan Hurley of college basketball?
Ugh.
Yeah. And so then you were talking about this and my brain was kind of going there.
What do you think?
And it's like, is Jim Calhoun Les Miles? Is Kevin Ollie Ed Orgeron?
I don't know the stuff that you think about, man. You're crazy.
There's thoughts in there. I mean, there certainly are.
Sean says Colorado fans, as far as the annoying, like mostly dormant fan bases.
Well, that is certainly true because they didn't really exist until
They really
Deion got there.
They really showed up.
But then there's
Prime.
this element of people that aren't actually Colorado fans; they're Deion fans, and so then it's hard to separate those two things.
I did receive a text who said Nebraska basketball could be put in this category, but I think most of the Nebraska basketball fans are like diehard Nebraska ball fans. But you do have like the crossover of I've never actually cared about Nebraska basketball, but they're literally a top 10 team in the country right now. So I'm going to parachute in and act like I've cared my entire life.
As per usual, everything related to Nebraska basketball is difficult to quantify because it is a unicorn.
Yes.
So that I definitely understand where that would come in at. I'm really like struggling to think of a fan base where it's dormant because Nebraska basketball fans aren't dormant when they're bad. They're just miserable.
But
they
exist. That's the Nebraska basketball fans.
Sure, yeah.
But like the Nebraska fans are dormant
Football
on
fans?
basketball.
Sure.
When they're no good,
Yeah.
or even when they're decent.
I guess some of it to me is like a fan base that just doesn't like St. John's fans don't seem to exist unless they're good.
I don't see the scope of them.
Like
that's
I'm
for
pretty
sure
sure it was just me that was excited about Marcus Hatfield when they made that run when I was like in 7th grade.
One more thing before we get to Jake here. So there's another sporting event going on this weekend that you're about to hear a lot about if you're on social media. And that would be the Waste Management Open. Because you're about to see a whole bunch of drunken debauchery. I don't like drunken debauchery. I'm okay with drunkenness. I'm not okay with debauchery. I don't want to see any of the videos anymore of the people rolling around in the dirt.
The fastest rant gong we've ever
I
had.
don't want to see the people rolling around in the dirt being hammered in the desert. I don't want to see the people 45 whiskeys deep having a painful lifelong sunburn that like I don't want to see any of this stuff. This is not golf. I feel like the commissioner of the PGA and Happy Gilmore. This is not golf. This is a train wreck. I hate this tournament now. Everyone always talking about, you got to go. It's the people's major. Screw the people. Their major is dumb. The other majors are better.
I don't have like a strong desire to go. And I say this as someone who like wants to go to a golf. I've not been to a PGA event ever. So I haven't done that yet.
Gotta go. Me and Jake Sorensen have been to 2 majors together.
Yeah, no, I know. You guys went to Whistling Straits, and then did you go to the one in St. Louis?
Aaron Hills.
Okay. And so I haven't done that yet, but Waste Management would not be like a high choice for me in that regard. And I would go if like offered tickets or had a reason to be down there because I love the Phoenix area.
I do too.
Full stop. Now, part of it is I don't want to go
much.
at that time because you and I are dorks and would much rather go several weeks later when we can wander onto the back fields and watch players that we'll never see play for our favorite team.
God.
And just watch them field grounders.
What I wouldn't give to watch, I'm trying to think of like an Omaha Storm Chaser. Like,
I don't know why Nicky Lopez was the first one that came to mind.
Yeah, like 4 years ago, Nicky Lopez
storm chaser in a while.
All right, let's take a break. Jake Sorensen is coming up next on 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome back. Connor Happer, Mike Schaefer, Joey Colbert with you here on this Super Bowl Friday edition of Happer and Schaefer, 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com. We're joined now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline by our good friend Jake Sorensen from 93.7 The Ticket, host of Early Break. Jake, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, guys. How are you?
Good. We were very curious, and we didn't lay out an odds board, but we didn't because we didn't have enough time. What are you doing this weekend?
I'm not traveling to a game if you're asking about that. I'm not going to Piscataway to watch Nebraska play Rutgers. I will be watching that on TV at 11 a.m. tomorrow, and then we'll have a little party at Buffalo Wings and Rings to the station on Sunday. So,
oh, yeah. Great. I forgot about that. What I mean, that's like, what, 10 years plus now?
About 10 years, yeah. It's been a pretty full house to be. I mean, I'm curious without the Chiefs involved what it looks like on Sunday, but it should be fun.
I remember
that's the weekend plan.
I remember one of those Super Bowl parties where it was the horrible Rams Patriots game. God. It was one. It was at Buffalo Wings and Rings, and I'm like, what do we do? This game is terrible.
I mean that I was doing prizes for that. I almost fell asleep in the third quarter of that game. I sat down for a second. It was so boring. It was the worst game of all time. It was awful.
I ate a lot of chicken wings though. So
horrible game.
That helps.
What percentage chance does Sipple make an appearance on Sunday?
Good question. He showed up twice in the last couple of years, so it's not 0. I'm going to go with 15%.
Okay, I was thinking around 10, so that tracks.
I'm going to give him 15%.
We thought that there was a chance that you could pick up and just end up at the waste management thing this weekend, but that's not in the cards.
You know, you guys have already given me crap for leaving my wife and daughter for the Chicago weekend. I've been chastised for this. I was just trying to do it one time, and so I can't just go pick up on any given notice and just leave. So no, I that sounds like a fun time. Don't get me wrong, but no, I will not be heading to Scottsdale for the waste management.
Okay.
How do you?
That's not really my scene. It's not my scene. I don't mind watching that tournament. Again, I love watching all golf. I don't need to be there. It's fine to have this as a one-off. I have no problem watching it. I think it's hilarious on TV, but I don't want to be at that event where it's just long lines for beer. People are idiots.
Drunken debauchery. Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to be there. I'll probably actually never go to it, but I will watch it gladly.
This is amazing because I am handshake meeting with Jake right now. I agree completely.
Look at that.
Attaboy.
Look at that.
Because we've been to Jake. You and I have been to golf tournaments that are that are the way golf is played. Yes, there's decorum,
and people drink with their pinky in the air.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, Happer and I, we made trips in 2 out of 3 years. We went to Wisconsin. We went to the PGA Championship at Whistling Straits, and we went to Erin Hills for the U.S. Open. And that was a proper tournament. There's no long lines for beer. There's no people taking their shirts off and throwing beers in the green. That would be terrible at a major. No, we saw actual golf.
Wasn't there an issue though with a bathroom situation that's somewhere?
Yes, there was, Happer.
So we were we got there early in the morning and we went to watch Tiger. We went right out because they had suspended the previous round, and so Tiger started on like 16 or 17 or something like that. We followed him all the way in, and just as Tiger, we're in a good spot as Tiger's about to go off on 18, and Jake's like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Okay, here's what happened. This is 2015. So me and Happer, let's go to the PGA Championship. Why not? We go to the Brewers game the night before. We stay. I believe it was a Roadway Inn.
It was horrible.
An hour away, I think, from Whistling Straits and Kohler. And as Happer said, we got we ate breakfast at the hotel, which it comes into play. I had some cereal.
You ate the Roadway Inn breakfast?
Yeah.
Let me ask, just as someone who has spent many times in bad hotels for various reasons, was the continental breakfast, they just go to the local gas station and get day-old donuts and some OJ?
Probably should have. I don't know what. I mean, they had 3 different cereals. They had, probably some sort of packaged donuts. And Happer did not have the cereal. I did. So we came to the conclusion that
this is a milk.
The milk must have been spoiled somehow.
You don't drink the milk at the Roadway Inn.
Because I went to the
BYOM.
Happer says, I found it and said, I got to go back. So I spent a good hour in the porta potties at the Whistling Straits PGA Championship on the Saturday morning, as Happer said, as they're trying to finish off round 2 before round.
It was great. We were like inches away from Tiger, and you're like,
I did see it. I did see him cross the path to tee off the hole. I said, Hap, I got to go, man. I'll see you later. And I think I saw him like an hour later. It's like, where the hell have you been? You're up at the merch tent behind stuff. Like, yeah,
I was having a great time. I was watching Tiger Woods play golf. It was great.
Incredible.
I saw him hit one shot. That's it.
Hey, at least you got that.
Yeah, it was great.
I did.
It was awesome.
I did.
At least you didn't have a disaster in other ways. I think that's probably the more important thing.
Yeah, we did avoid complete disaster. That's the fortunate thing on that one.
All right, let's transition from that complete disaster to talking about Sam Darnold in the Super Bowl. What do you think happens on Sunday night? Where are you going with this?
Well, I got to say I'm a card-carrying member of the Dolphins fan base. Like it's not allowed to root for the Patriots in any capacity.
Sure.
They were supposed to have 40 years of suck, and they're back in the game. It's not right. I hate it. Everything's bad. They're the better. The Patriots are a good team. Obviously, that's why they're there. But the Seahawks are the better team. Sam Darnold's a great story. Schaefer, I feel bad for you because you had him last year with the Vikings, and they chose to say McCarthy,
because they're morons. We can say it.
9, whatever his name is our guy now. So let's take
you can say 9.
A 9 and 8. Yeah, I said 9. So I love the Seahawks. Their defense is just so dominant, and offensively, I know they don't have Charbonnet for the game, but I think Kenneth Walker is good enough to carry them. And I obviously JSN's been a great receiver, and so is Darnold. So I think Seahawks are the right team favorite. I think they should cover 4.5.
Do you have any more Super Bowl questions? Because I want to.
Really, we can go to basketball.
I want to ask about basketball. What has this week done for you mentally with Nebraska basketball? Given that they're coming off of 2 losses, and
was it one more loss than you wanted them to have?
Well, let me ask you. Let me ask this: what do you think it's done to me, Happer?
I don't know. I imagine you've gone back and forth, like a lot with yourself this week on whether worrying about them for this upcoming game and a variety of different things. Like, how many knots have you tied yourself into this week?
About 75. Yeah, it's been back and forth. I've been finding myself like watching TV and thinking about the ups and downs, ifs and buts of Nebraska ball. You're right, because tomorrow's a huge game. Right now, it's never losing to Michigan and Illinois are obviously not bad losses. Top 5 teams. Illinois right now is playing, I think, the best basketball in the country, better than Arizona. Right now they are, but not bad losses. But still, you've lost this cloak of invincibility. You were 20-0. You had 24 straight going back to the crown last year, and now you know that yes, the Michigan game we could say Frager and Mass were out, and maybe that's an acceptable loss. It was a fine loss, obviously, but the Illinois game, yes, Mass was not fully healthy, and Frager was awesome in that game. But that's the one that said, okay, we lost at home. We lost almost full strength, so. Yeah, I have some trepidation. Rutgers is really bad. They had a couple games they were tight in recently, but they got blown out by 32 points to UCLA on Tuesday. So I don't think that this one-piece anime crowd is going to really be into it in terms of the actual game up there. So Nebraska should win. And if they don't win, yeah, I'm going to get terrified about what's happening the rest of the season. But I think that's the way you live as a Nebraska basketball fan historically.
I mean, as a Nebraska basketball fan, historically, I don't know that I've lived terrified.
I have. I'm always terrified. There's nothing ever good.
I think that's sort of you were terrified that they were winning too much.
I was. See, you guys have hit me. I mean, that's how I am as a fan. I'm not rational. I am a fanatic. I really am.
Yeah, but what Schaefer's saying is not exclusive to your Nebraska ball love. It's just you.
That's fair. Yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
Can I tell you that this is like the perfect kind of game for Nebraska to play after a layoff that they needed? You're going to get a team that's probably going to muck it up a little bit. You're getting a game where you have to bring your own juice because it's 11 a.m. On the East Coast against a anime crowd, and so there's probably not going to be a lot of juice in that building. Like in a weird way, I think this is like better for them that they're going on the road to play this game than if they would have had a home game in the same circumstance.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Nebraska has been good on the road. Even the Michigan game, they played well in that game. I mean, Nebraska's dominated on the road. Northwestern, they took, Indiana was not a good game, but they came back and won that by 10. Minnesota down by 7 or 8 points, came back and won that by double digits. So the road has been kind. And so, yeah, I guess if you want to get back to this belief that you are for sure a top 10 team, a contender to win the Big Ten. Winning on the road would be proof once again that you are back on the right path. And I mean, we all know that Rick Mass has to find it. And obviously, he was sick the last 2 games, missed Michigan and was not well against Illinois. But I think for the sake of, you guys asked about where I'm at mentally, I need to see Rick have a good game.
Yeah.
It has been since January 2nd. I mean, I got to see him score 15, 16 points and, not on 16 shots, but look efficient doing so. So, yeah, Schaefer, this is certainly the right type of game you want against a lowly level Big Ten team on the road. And if they do win this, I feel a lot better about beating Purdue, who I'm not overly scared of next week, but certainly they do bring their own issues to PBA.
All right, Jake, we will let you go. Enjoy the party at Wings and Rings on Sunday and your generally open weekend here. Nice job.
Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you next week.
Jake Sorensen, you could find him from 6 to 9 on 93.7 The Ticket with Steve Sipple.
And Bill Bush.
And Bill Bush, of course. Early break. We'll take a break. I wanted to get out a little bit early because we have some props that we want to throw at you all. That's what the Super Bowl is all about anyway. So we will do that. We will pick the game as well. Will somebody finally try to cash in on their hate or love for Sam Darnold?
We've been teetering all year towards this point.
Find out next on 1620 The Zone. All right, Super Bowl 60. We've told you about the city of Santa Clara, the Bay Area in general. We've talked about the narratives and the Darnold of it all. Now we have to put our money where our mouths are and make some picks for the game. 5:30 NBC. Mike Schaefer not excited for Tirico. Whatever.
Wow, hater.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. He's excited for Collinsworth only,
Yes.
which is
So-
weird.
It's very hard, but I have to mute and then immediately. No.
I like both of them. I think they're going to do an excellent job.
It'll be the Sunday Night Football production is my favorite production of the NFL every
Same.
week.
Same.
And so they will do an amazing job with all of that aspect. I just don't care for Tirico as much as you, Tirico honks.
I do love a Tirico. I love Tirico. Honk it for me, Joey.
Honk,
I'm a
honk.
Tirico honk. I am. So this is Collinsworth's 5th Super Bowl, and 4 of them have been with the Patriots.
Oh my goodness, I did not realize that.
So that's
Man.
Yeah, because he did he did the
poor guy.
yeah, so he did the Giants Patriots, Eagles Patriots, Patriots Seahawks, Patriots Seahawks again.
Patriots Seahawks again. Yeah.
Yeah. So the lone Super Bowl he did without the Patriots is the Rams Bengals. From
Yes.
2021 in Al's last Super Bowl.
I'm going with that, Joey. I don't know if that's true or not, but I believe you.
It is.
I believe you.
I
Did
have no reason to doubt Joey's knowledge.
I
I
believe
would
him
think he'd
completely.
call a Super Bowl with Fox when he was with Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, because that was a 3-man crew in the early 2000s.
I do not remember that.
I don't either.
I
don't
don't
either.
have
You're
any
the
memory
guy.
of a 3-man crew that was Collinsworth, Buck, and Aikman.
Well, they called the Seahawks Packers 2003 wild card and
Ah.
divisional round.
That's getting messy.
I go back to the
Did
Packers.
somebody say schedules?
I go back to the Packers Seahawks wild card because it was the Matt Hasselbeck. We want the ball and we're going to
gonna
score.
win, yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
Al Harris moments
Yep.
later says, "Not in my house."
Mike writes in, I'm a freako for Tirico. Connor Happer. Yep, I am. Mr. Tirico. All right, so Brandy Carlisle will sing America the Beautiful. Coco Jones will sing Lift Every Voice and Sing. And Charlie Puth will sing the Star Spangled Banner. Bad Bunny headlines halftime. Without further ado, Schaefer, give me a couple things that you think are going to be happening in this game.
Yeah, so I suggested that we do some props to have some stuff out there to throw out for the people. This is one of those things that I know this is a big cousin Sal bet, and it's hit a lot. Shortest touchdown in the game, you basically can bet over under.
I love that.
The under of 1.5, so a 1 yard touchdown
Yep.
seems to happen a lot in football, happens a lot in the Super Bowl. Go ahead and play that at minus 140.
Love it.
Another
Love
one
it.
that it feels kind of like obvious, and yeah, you're not going to get great odds, but you make money on it. Like that's sometimes I think people overthink. Oh, my odds are the odds are what they are here. I can make so much money. It's like yeah, it has to happen.
Josh Hodson.
That's how he bets.
Josh Hodson loves seeing something that starts with a 5.
Yeah, and so sometimes it's like, all right, well, why don't you just do the thing that you know is going to happen
Right.
because it always happens? That's a Jackson Smith-Njigba touchdown.
Yeah.
Like it's minus 110. Again, you're not going to get rich off of it, but you're going to make money. Put your money and make money,
Good
and
job.
you do that with Jackson Smith-Njigba. Now,
Smart.
if you're thinking, let's get a little weird, I want something where I'm going to get paid if this happens, I've got one for you. As mentioned, I
You love this bet.
love betting that there will be an additional passer
A third passer has hit the Super Bowl.
in the Super Bowl. This time, however, it's not an over under of 2.5. This one is specific to one player who I've watched throw passes for the Seahawks this season, including an awful interception in the Houston Texans game.
Mhm.
Cooper Kupp to complete a pass plus 1,200.
I love it.
Get yourself a little bit of money if you want to go on a risk here.
I love
Throw that in and mix it in with some water, like JSN with an anytime touchdown or shortest touchdown under 1.5.
I love these. I love that one
I
in
love it.
particular. Joey, what do we got?
I'm going to go with a Kenneth Walker the third anytime touchdown. That is minus 190.
That's definitely happening.
Seattle likes to run the ball a lot, and they're
Probably
good
for
at
1
doing
yard.
that.
Probably for 1 yard. You could cash on 2 bets right there.
There you go, Schaefer. And then in the passing game, I feel like Cooper Kupp is going to have a big performance for the Seahawks. I think he's going to have a 30-yard reception in that game. That odd is plus 490.
Just need one. Just need one.
Okay.
Get him loose.
Doesn't need to be multiple. You just need to get one. And then Drake May likes to turn it over a lot. I was trying to see if I could find some fumble prop bets, but
we're a little limited in what you could find.
Yeah, I was very disappointed not being able to find that. So I went with the over on half for interceptions, and that's minus 147. Yeah. And then I just drew a random prop bet in there. I don't know what the heck it is, but are we going to see an octopus?
What is an octopus?
What is this octopus?
It's like
I said yes, plus 1,400.
I love it.
I don't know. I mean, I would love to see an octopus.
Well, isn't there a famous octopus who like picks the game? You know, like, and there's some sort of stat about which team the octopus has picked over the years.
Do they have a specific tentacle that has to touch the screen?
I think it just kind of floats one way or the other in its little tank.
Okay.
Like apparently the octopus is like nails.
So if you see the octopus in the Super Bowl, just alert me because I don't know if I'm going to be paying attention. I'm just throwing that out there. Just why not? Why not?
You don't even know what it was and you're picking it. I love those things. Okay. So I get a couple. So speaking of overthinking it on anytime touchdowns, give me Kayshawn Booty for an anytime touchdown.
Happer booty.
I need the booty. Plus 320 for an anytime touchdown. I have enjoyed this bet for all sports, all season long. A tie at the end of the first half. Plus 850.
Okay.
The score will be tied at halftime, which I very much enjoy. I think first half unders is another pretty common one that I love doing.
I have a friend that you've met that loves betting in the NCAA tournament, the first half unders, which is the
first half unders is so
least fun way to bet, but also very profitable.
Second half over, especially in the playoffs, first half under, second half overs. This is just the way it kind of goes. That's minus 140 for the first half under, 23.5. And then the Darnold related bets. Okay, hold on. Don't move
I like this.
Sam Darnold over 5.5 rushing yards.
That seems like it's the real possibility.
Naked play action boot. Naked boot.
Naked
in the bucket seats.
It's more like a scramble that getting out of like pressure or something that comes from the side.
No, I'm thinking it's like designed. Like he's
designed to run?
He's gonna like walk one in.
Wow.
Or something like that. Maybe I should pair it along with the touchdown. And then I have this. Sam Darnold to throw 2 or more interceptions in the Super Bowl at plus 300.
Not happen.
2 or more.
Not happen.
He is going to throw some picks.
I think there'll at least be one from him in that game. Both quarterbacks are bound to turn over the football.
If you could find a way to parlay them together, that would be great. Also, the texter, our YouTube comment, this is another version of an octopus. I don't know if they were talking about this octopus or the real octopus. The octopus is when a player scores a touchdown and then also gets the 2-point conversion. That is what they call that. I just wonder if that's what they were talking about. That would make sense for a plus 14.
All right, Cooper Kupp, do me a favor.
Yeah, maybe it's Cooper Kupp or something like that. All right, so there's some prop bets now. The game, Joey, give me a score.
It's going to be a wild, wacky score. I'm going to go 26-19 Seattle. There's going to be a bunch of field goals in this game.
I love that because it's different numbers. I love weird scores in the Super Bowl.
I have the same margin of victory for the Seahawks as Joey does, and a very similar range. I have 23-16 Seattle.
Kind of funny numbers as well. I have been wanting to pick the Patriots all week long, and I just couldn't get over the hump.
No matter, even if Darnold throws 14 interceptions?
No, he's not going to throw 14. He will throw 2 and maybe only 2. But I couldn't get there. I couldn't convince myself in all reality
really good
to do it. Yeah.
They're really good.
26-24 Seattle.
Oh.
And that would be a New England cover.
All right.
At plus 4.5. There you go. That's exactly what's going to happen. Well, I guess we can't all have the same correct scores, but that's what's going to happen.
One of us will be more correct than others.
Probably.
But all of us took the Seahawks, which I was not prepared
And we all
for.
have in the low to mid 20s. So.
Yeah.
There's no graphic for any Patriots fans to smack at us.
No, that's right. Do not put this on the internet. Do not put it on the internet. All right, that will do it for us today. Thanks for joining us this week, all week. And enjoy your weekend, everybody. Enjoy the basketball and the football. Crossovers coming up next.